tour today to find out more or go online at bridgesnd.com.
Bison 1660 and Bud Light, the official beer of the Bison, are teaming up every Friday to give away the ultimate tailgate package. Just listen to the insiders each week to hear the tailgate keyword of the week. Text in that keyword for your chance to win the ultimate tailgate package, equipped with a case of Bud Light and Bison swag. The winner will be announced every Friday during the season, and you can play along each week. Up your tailgate game with the ultimate tailgate package from Bud Light, the official beer of the Bison, and Bison 1660.
With the rising threat of cybersecurity attacks, you need to ensure your business is fully protected. Data loss, ransomware attacks, and other breaches can disrupt your business and damage your reputation. Consolidated Communications Cloud Secure Service safeguards your business from these attacks by securing your network, data, and applications. We proactively monitor your security to prevent intrusions before they compromise your IT systems while protecting your staff in the office or when working remotely. Visit consolidatedcommunications.com/cloudsecure to protect your business.
This is your Bison 1660 Metro Minute. College students, come out for this year's Bridge Bash, sponsored by Johnson's Auto Repair. Live DJ, kayaking, travel escape room, bingo, and more. Saturday the 17th from 1 to 4 at the Young Kump Center. Bring your friends and bring a trailer, because it's Junk Fest time. 9 to 4, September 10th at the Fairgrounds in Carrington. That perfect find is waiting for you with over 100 collectors. It's Junk Fest and Vintage Flea Market, September 10th in Carrington.
Cardinal IG would like to shine the spotlight on their employees celebrating September anniversaries. Abdulwali Muhammad, Awis Noor, and Abdullahi Yusuf are all celebrating 20 years. John Hintamana, Dilgash Abdullah, Destalim Desta, Masamina Gilo, and Fatmana Kargbo are all celebrating their first year. From the entire team, thank you. Cardinal IG offers competitive pay, outstanding benefits, and an extensive training program. To view open positions or to apply, visit cardinalfargo.com.
We're with Chris Hoffman from Bonanza Agronomy. Chris, today's farmer does more than just grow crops.
Farmers also have to make payroll. Farmers also have to market crop. Farmers also have to run equipment. And oh yeah, they have families too. The farmer has to wear many hats. So if he can take part of his operation and relinquish some control, remove the emotion from it, partner with an expert like Bonanza Agronomy, and let's put a plan together with somebody that's already been through this.
Find them on Facebook and bonanzaag.com.
Fall is about tradition. Tradition on the field with Bison football and tradition in the cooler with Bud Light, the official beer of the NDSU Bison. When you're enjoying a clean sack or a perfectly timed touchdown pass, let the crisp, cold, clean taste of Bud Light tackle your taste buds. The only bigger crowd pleaser on Saturday is another Bison win. Whether it's in the tailgate zone, a couch gate at home, or inside the Fargo Dome, the Bison go best with Bud Light, the official beer of the NDSU Bison. Please drink responsibly, never drink and drive.
The construction is almost done at the Gateway Clearance Center, and the construction sale is going strong. No negotiations necessary, and payments starting as low as $99 a month. That's right, payments starting at just $99 a month at the Gateway Clearance Center, with a great selection of clean used cars, trucks, and SUVs. And right now, every vehicle is sale priced. Enjoy extra discounts for the construction sale going on now at Gateway Clearance Center on South University Drive in Fargo, or online at fmclearancecenter.com.
KQWB, West Fargo, Fargo-Moorhead, and KPFX, HD3 Kindred, Bison 1660. Powered by Gateway Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nissan, and Hyundai in Fargo.
We are Fox Sports.
And here's what you need to know.
News in the NFL this morning, the Ravens announcing they could not reach agreement with quarterback Lamar Jackson on an extension prior to today's deadline. The team says, however, they will continue to work on a long-term deal after the season. Jackson set to earn $23 million this year. Reports say the Titans and safety Amani Hooker have agreed to a 3-year extension worth $33 million with more than $19 million guaranteed. And the Jets ruled out left tackle Dwayne Brown for the team's opener against the Ravens. BYU Athletics completed its investigation into the allegations of a fan using racial slurs during a women's volleyball match against Duke on August 26. The school says it has not found any evidence after an extensive review. Major League Baseball's competition committee is voting today on sweeping rules changes, including banning the shift and implementing the pitch clock. Finally, the Premier League is suspending play this weekend following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. I'm Nick Cope.
You've got the insiders.
How you play today, from this moment on, is how you will be remembered. That's what living is. That's right. Come on. The 6 inches in front of your face.
Bringing you what you need to know and a whole lot more. Topics you care about, guests you know, and the conversations you came to hear. The Insiders are presented by Proceed. Need seed? Think Proceed.
This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Now, here are the Insiders.
The Insiders.
The Insiders.
The Insiders.
Insiders.
Rob Hipp and Andy Rickoff.
It's a Friday, everybody. Welcome on in to the Insiders, a football-filled Friday on the show. Andy Rickoff, Rob Hipp, happy to be with you to round out another week and get you ready for game number 2 for the Bison. As always, the show brought to you by Proceed. Going to have some fun over the next 2 hours. And no, of course, we're not going to overreact to the game from last night. Just kidding, we will. The first game of the NFL season underway. We'll give you overreactions or not an overreaction, probably a little bit later on in the show. But looking forward to the next couple of hours. And Rob, game number 2, you're feeling good, primed up, ready to go. The Aggies of NCANT into the Dome tomorrow.
Looking forward to it. Already been on a couple of our other stations talking about the A&T Aggies, and I expect more of the same. We talked about it yesterday over Sickies, just about heading into that game. But, yeah, man, I keep saying the word excited because how can you not be excited? Football alive and well. NFL kicked off last night. And then the Bison coming up Saturday. Oh, man, I cannot wait.
2:30 kickoff inside the Dome means our coverage starts at 8:30 in the morning tomorrow with the Bison Report Show brought to you by Gateway Chevrolet, then the Bison Tailgate Show, Bison Game Day, and our network coverage with Rob, the Hall of Famer Phil Hansen, and, of course, Cole Jurek on the sidelines. Well, we got a fun show, a couple of great guests for you, Football-Filled Friday, and a Texas-sized Football-Filled Friday, because a couple of guests from the state deep in the heart of Texas, I should say, right? That's the saying?
Yeah, deep. It's I forgot the old song, but the stars shine bright, something, something, deep in the heart of Texas. That'll be the only time I ever sing on the show, by the way.
Oh, we'll get you to sing one more
Michael's
time.
like, please stop, man.
So are the people in their cars and their offices.
Yeah.
But we'll have a couple of guests from the state of Texas. How about Karl Schoening, the color analyst for Incarnate Word on the broadcast there for the Word, who had a very impressive win in week number 1 over Southern Illinois, putting up over 60 points on the Salukis. Got a chance to make an even bigger impact here in week 2. They take on Nevada. FCS, FBS update, question mark, or upset, question mark. Can we get an upset possibly there? That will be something to talk about and keep our eyes on here going into tomorrow. And Karl Schoening will stop by at 11:30, give us his take on how the Word is looking. What's the word on the Word, basically? And also, what's new? Because there's a lot of stuff new with Incarnate Word. New quarterback, new coach, new things happening. But the results looked the same in week 1. Still a lot of offense, high-powered offensive attack, putting up over 60 on Southern Illinois. So we get his thoughts on that coming up at about 11:30. Then at noon, how about the voice of the Texas Longhorns? Craig Way, where there's a will, there is a way. They will try and find a way to upset number 1 Alabama coming into Austin, coming to town. And that is as big as it gets for Texas the last couple of years. Haven't had a lot of success when it comes to the playoffs or making postseasons or even being in the hunt for the Big 12. But, hey, doesn't mean you can't win this one. That's why you got to play the game. Alabama's 20-point favorites, but you got to play the game. Quinn Ewers, young quarterback, Steve Sarkisian looking for that big signature win. This would be a chance for Sark to put his stamp on the program, along with Quinn Ewers, their your first-year starting quarterback there for Texas. So Craig Way joins us at 12:02. Two guys you are very close to there, Mr. Rob Hipp, and I will give you credit. Get the crowd applause sound effect ready, because Rob also helped schedule both of these guests, so putting in his work on the show. There we go.
Yeah, I'm finally earning my keep around here. You know, Andy had me taking out trash and kind of sweeping, vacuuming, so now earning my keep around here on the Insiders.
Yeah, we're trying to. Looking forward to talking with Craig, though. Obviously a good friend. We've had him on a couple of times, and Karl will be a first-time guest, so we'll have to dust off the gong. Haven't used that thing in a couple of weeks, so make sure that is primed up and ready when we have Karl on. What do you think? Can Incarnate Word pull it off and beat Nevada?
Man, I think that Incarnate Word, we mentioned yesterday, I think they're a sleeper team in the FCS. They've progressively started to get better. They've beefed up their offensive line, and the postseason. This is a team down in San Antonio that is primed to make a run, and I'm excited to see how they continue to grow and develop. You talked about their quarterback, Lindsey Scott, almost 400 yards in that 64-29 blowout hosting Southern Illinois. I just want to see what these guys can continue to do, because in my time down in East Texas, being down there in the Southland back in the day and watching them, there's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of hype down in San Antonio starting to build up, and the community's starting to rally behind Incarnate Word. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Karl's perspective, what he saw that first week, and just learning a little bit more about what they're doing down there. And that's where the river runs right through. I forget what they call it. My mind drew a blank. The mind honey's not working already this morning.
There you go.
The River City.
There you go. The River City out of the San Antonio. I do think they're a team or a program that's still relatively new to the FCS. I think they're only, 6 years? This is their 6th or 7th season of FCS football. But they seem to invest pretty well into the program. I've mentioned that before. We want a team to rise up, a program to rise up. Well, money talks. Money helps as well. Money does buy things. It just is the way it is, especially in college football. If you invest into the program and you get some facilities and you upgrade things and you invest in your coaching staff and the recruiting budgets and all of that, it does pay dividends. And I think they're seeing that a little bit with Incarnate Word, who's already taking, from when they first started, they were bad. Let's just call it what it was. And any team that transitions up to D1 is going to be bad. That's just probably the name of the game. They've gotten a lot better, and now they're putting up some serious points, and I think it's because they're investing in their program. I'm not saying they're going to be a team that makes it to the semifinals or the quarterfinals, but that's a team to watch out for when we're talking about programs that can rise up and be the next JMU, be a team that can at least compete at that high level and be someone in the playoffs year in and year out. Maybe they don't do it, but I think they've got as good of a chance as anybody right now.
Well, you talked about how young they are in the FCS. How about how young their program is overall? Just got started in 2009. They won the Southland Conference in 2021, then again in 2018. So for a program that fresh to already have that kind of success, some people out there, if you follow the South, and you're like, that's not saying much, but still, it's hard to win one college football game, much less a conference in a program that only started in 2009.
Yeah, it's still impressive considering where they have come from and to where they are at this point. And they invest in that program. So Nevada 2-0. They have wins over New Mexico State and Texas State, 23-12 in Week 1 against New Mexico State, then 38-14 against Texas State. So I don't want to say this is a likely one to happen at McKay Stadium there in Reno, Nevada, but hey, Incarnate Word can put up some points, that's for sure. And even if they don't win the game, if they put up 30-plus points on an FBS team, that's still something to look at, be like, okay, the offense is legit. Southern Illinois' defense might be pretty bad. It might just play out that way, and you find out, okay, that 60 whatever they put up on the Salukis is not really that as impressive. But if you put up 30-something on an FBS team, even in a loss, that tells me, okay, the offense is pretty legit there for sure.
And they may not move. If that happens, even in a loss, they may not move on that coveted, world-famous Andy Rickoff poll.
That's very true.
Vegas seems to think that this game's going to be close. They're only 2.5-point dogs to Nevada.
2.5-point dogs to Nevada in this game. That is interesting. Those lines tend to be fairly accurate. I don't know how they do it each and every week, but NFL lines, college football lines, they tend to be fairly accurate on that one. So not even a field goal underdog on the road against an FBS team. Definitely one to keep our eye on there on Saturday as they kick off at 2:30. Same time as the Bison, so we'll be keeping our eyes on that one. Maybe they'll have a scoreboard update for you during the broadcast on the Pioneer Seed Bison Radio Network.
And one last thing about those guys, they gave Sam Houston a scare last year. Sam was coming off the national championship, and that was a close game. I remember calling that, and we were kind of biting our nails saying, what's going on? Well, we saw later what happened with Sam losing to Montana State, but for a UIW team to play against a defending national champion at the FCF level at that close of a score, I think it was 49-42, just one touchdown win for Sam. That was impressive. And they were coming off an overtime victory versus Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah.
Not a bad program.
No, they're a good program. They're moving things in the right direction. So we'll have to see how they continue to progress. But that's one to keep your eyes on for maybe this year, but I'd say for sure for the next couple of years as a program trying to be on the rise in the FCS. We're here with you inside our Tharaldson Ethanol Broadcast Center. Tharaldson Ethanol, one of the nation's largest growing ethanol facilities, a 175 million gallon per year ethanol plant located just west of Castleton. And you can join their growing team and fuel your future today by viewing open positions online at tharaldsonethanol.com. We also want you to be involved in the show on this Friday. Give us a call or a text. 701-476-1660 is the number to do both of those things, our Epic Companies hotline. And you can text that number to register for our Ultimate Tailgate giveaway, which we give away in about 40 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes. The keyword is on our Facebook page. It has been since Monday. I have a post up there that goes up every Monday with that week's keyword. Also a new post earlier this morning. You can go find that post on our Facebook page, Bison1660. Like it while you're there. And then send us a keyword to that text number, again, 701-476-1660. I tell you, I won't tell you what the keyword is until Friday, so give you a chance to find the post on our Facebook page. But I'll tell you on Friday, I'll tell you right now, the keyword for this week is beer. There you go. Beer.
You gave it away.
I gave it away. B-E-E-R. That's the keyword for this week, 701-476-1660. Don't add the emojis. Don't add an exclamation point. Just beer to 701-476-1660 for your chance to win our Ultimate Tailgate package, courtesy of the fine folks there at Bud Light. And you can give us a call as well if you want to talk about the Incarnate Word or anything else going on in the world of football. And we also have Call Your Shot, another way to win, on our Facebook page. This one I can't give you a keyword to. You just have to go to our Facebook page to enter it. Call Your Shot, your chance to win a free night stay at Homewood Suites, or courtesy of Homewood Suites here in Fargo. All you have to do is predict the winning score for NDSU and North Carolina A&T. Winning score and the team. You predict that, or you get closest to the final score, you'll be winning a free night stay at Homewood Suites. Again, it's on our Facebook page. Just scroll down until you see the Call Your Shot post, the big graphic there, sent out this morning, so it's not going to be too far down for you. Comment on that before kickoff tomorrow for your chance to win that free night stay at Homewood Suites.
I was surprised a little yesterday at Sicky's seeing some of the score predictions. By the way, thanks to everybody who came out. I love the road tour. We had just a bolstering crowd there. It was a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of great people. Love Charlotte. I gave her a hug as I left. I said, these are just dedicated Bison fans. But I was a little kind of taken back, though, because some of those score predictions, they actually had the Bison and A&T, some of them a little bit close, a little too close for comfort. I think it's going to be a lot of separation.
I think there'll be separation, too. And I'm not throwing any of our fans under the bus.
No, not at all.
But some of them don't know college football super well. They tell us that. They're like, oh, I don't know if I should do the pick'ems. I don't know college football that well. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Usually if you don't know it that well, you end up winning. That's how these things tend to work out. And so they just put a score down because they assume most football games are pretty close, not knowing, oh, NDSU is probably going to blow that team out.
Micah knows everything, so that's why he doesn't do very well in these. Is that right, Micah?
Yeah, I have too much analytics and statistics in my head, so like betting on me for myself, I should just let somebody else do it, like my girlfriend or something, and then they just doesn't know much about college football, so I might win something.
Are you
pick
suffering?
The teams based off if they like the jerseys or something like that?
Yeah, maybe a good mascot. Name sounds cool.
Exactly.
You're suffering from the paralysis by analysis. That's the phrase of the week, by the way, Andy. That's been sticking with us all week. Paralysis by analysis.
That was what we've talked about with some of the coordinators and coaches from last week's game against Drake. That was a little paralysis by over-analysis, analyzing the game against Drake, and that's why maybe that first drive didn't go super well. I know there's going to be everyone's going to be keyed in on the first defensive drive, whether it's the first drive of the game or the second drive. The first defensive drive for Code Green, everyone's going to be watching, and you better believe they're going to want to come out and make a statement early on.
Well, that may depend on who's going to be in the tailgate, because our good friend Darla Jean already chiming in this morning on our social media feed. He said, listening to you boys, and thank you for that, because I feel like I'm a little bit younger. So he said, listening to you quote-unquote boys, check this out, while making yellow and green Jell-O shots for tomorrow. It's going to be a great tailgate. So if you're at Darla Jean's tailgate, you may miss that opening drive.
You might miss the opening drive, and they're not the only people that bring the green and yellow Jell-O shots to the tailgate lot. Let you know. It's pretty rowdy there at the old tailgate lot, Thunder Alley. So, and it was a great turnout last week. Looking forward to the same thing. I've heard most of the tickets are gone. Student tickets all sold out once again. Tailgate lot should be full. If you haven't already heard, go to the Bison Corral. If you don't have a tailgate spot, it's in the tailgate lot. It's free and open to the public to go in there and enjoy it. They got some great food trucks, other great things to partake in as well. There at the Bison Corral, open to the public inside the tailgate lot, and just wander around and meet new people. You'll probably stumble into a couple of tailgate spots as well, because Bison Nation is just that awesome. You mentioned the Bison 1660 Road Tour. We were there yesterday, or on that yesterday, at Sicky's. And we'll be at a couple of stops again next week on the road tour, back at Sicky's on next Thursday, at Consolidated Communications on the 14th. And then a couple of spots to update everybody. Twin Peaks, we're going to have a couple of locations for them. I'll announce those here in just a little bit. We'll have a couple of spots for them. We're also at Sicky's again on the 22nd. We're at the Bridges Apartments on the 23rd and the 30th as well. Those locations and stops are all on our website, bison1660.com. That's where you go for the stops of the Bison 1660 Road Tour, brought to you by the Bridges, and they make college living easy with all-inclusive pricing, water, electric, heating, cable, internet. It's all included. It's all-inclusive pricing, people. One monthly rate. That's all going to be everything included on that one. Plus, the units come fully furnished at the Bridges. There we go. I'm learning how to talk slowly. You can tour the Bridges today up by NDSU's campus or go online to bridgesnd.com. Let's go to the phone lines. Calling us in, Mark, somewhere in America, with the call. The first caller of the show on the Epic Companies hotline. Mark, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Andy. Actually rolling through Kennesaw right now.
Oh, there you go. Checking in on the Owls.
Hey, 2 questions for you and 2 questions for Rob. And first, with the promotion, and you haven't mentioned this in the last couple months, do you actually get to go to Arizona now?
Me personally?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to be in Fargo.
Oh, okay. I know you were angling that a couple months ago, but since you're now the program director, I thought you had some pull.
What's next?
Hey, and why have you given up on the UT Martin Skyhawks? You said yesterday that you're full in on the Word as your team this year.
I'm all in on Delaware. Delaware is my team. This year, it's all about Delaware. First off, I like Incarnate Word, but my team that I've backed a little bit early on in this season, at least, is Delaware. I'm not down on UT Martin. They were in the top 15. They were in my top 15 last week. I think they were at 12. I'll go back and look and double check, but they were in there on the top 15. So I'm not down on UT Martin. I got to see it a little bit more consistently against the top competition. They played good last night. They did play well last night against Missouri State, but they ended up losing the game. You still got to win it in the end.
True. I think it also kind of showed that Missouri State just still is not strong in the trenches, even though they've got the skill players on the outside. That's what I saw of last night's game. Rob, my 2 questions for you. Are you missing Buc-ee's yet? And what advice have you gotten, because I ate there yesterday, what advice have you gotten in terms of buying your first snowblower?
Oh,
and,
okay.
Rob, if you get a chance, hopefully you get a chance to meet you next weekend in Tucson.
Yeah, well, hey, I appreciate the questions there, Mark. You kept them easy for me. I was getting a little nervous over here, first questions flying in. But number 1, Buc-ee's, for those of you in this area that have no idea what that is a mega convenience store, gas station. I mean, hundreds of pumps throughout the Lone Star State. And I don't even know if they're anywhere else, to be honest. Have you heard of?
I've been there. We've gone to Frisco. We've stopped at Buc-ee's multiple times, basically every year. Yeah, it is about 6 of our regular-sized gas stations put together with almost a miniature like Walmart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Inside. It is phenomenal.
So to answer that question, yes, I am missing Buc-ee's. There was one right down the road in East Texas, about 30 minutes away from me, and every time I'd travel, we'd always stop there. They have the beaver nuggets. I know people are going to joke about that one, but they're good. You got to get some of those if you ever go through Buc-ee's, and so it's a great place. So yes, I'm missing that. And then the second question about the snowblower, I was in Home Depot just a few days ago, and someone ran across me. They said, "Are you ready for the winter yet?" And Andy is going to harp on me because, I've told you how excited I am about this. You said everyone shakes their head no. So, yes, I am starting to look for that snowblower now. They had them on display, and it was funny because when we were in there, I said, you will never see this in Texas. Right when you walk in, there was a ton of snowblowers there for sale.
Yeah, the right time would have been like a couple of months ago.
You buy it in the summer. You buy the snowblower in the summer.
They jack the price up right in the winter.
Just like winter coats.
They get you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right now is a good time. Like in a month or so is a good time to buy a grill.
Yes.
They'll be discounted a little.
So let me throw this out there. If there's any listeners that have a gently used snowblower that's not in service, let me know. Maybe I can buy that one off of you and save a few bucks.
Yeah, maybe you could. But you'll you'll probably need one, or at least somebody like a CY, Cole Ilanemi, works for us here, who can help you out with some of the snow removal. He's got the tools necessary to remove snow from the driveway, if you ask him nicely.
I was going to hire Micah. He's a pretty strong guy back there. He's like, I'll come do that for you, right, Micah? Will you do that for me?
I find removing snow very therapeutic. I enjoy doing it. I do it with a shovel, by the way. I don't have the snow blower in my back pocket, but I enjoy removing snow. So it's kind of a weird
lawn
thing.
Mowing. I actually enjoy mowing a lawn.
I think that's a dad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even though you're not a dad, but
I don't even have a yard.
It's a grown man thing.
I don't have to mow, but I've always liked mowing yards.
I like mowing. When the baby starts to cry, I just say, sweetheart, I got to go mow the lawn. And that's why dads like mowing the lawn. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Gets you out of the house just a little bit, out on the yard. So appreciate the questions from Mark. Unfortunately, no, I will be here. I know everyone wants to see me out there in Tucson. I'll be here. Someone's got to hold down the fort here. That's the other side of this. We've got post-game shows that are on location, pre-game shows for that week that are going to be on location. People have paid for those ones, so we're going to be there on location. For the folks that don't make it down to Tucson, there's a lot of folks that will be down there. Obviously, the Team Makers Charter, a whole bunch of different ways, and the alumni that just stays down there in Tucson or the surrounding areas. But we also got a lot of Bison fans here that will be watching the game, and so why not watch it with our pregame show, Bison Game Day, at Applebee's that week. So it's usually our post-game location. Post-game is going to be about 1:30 in the morning, so let's make it the pregame location there for that week against Arizona, which will be just next Saturday. And we'll have that on the 17th live from Applebee's for our pregame coverage. So appreciate everybody coming out there. We've done it so far one time. It was a great turnout last week for the postgame show. We're there again tomorrow after the game at Applebee's just north of the Fargo Dome. Come out there, watch the show, watch some of the other games going on, and then come there and watch the pregame show the following week.
And you messaged me about that last week, and everything was so new and fresh that I didn't have a chance to get down there. But I'm going to try hard. Two things I'm promising Bison Nation right now. I'm going to try really hard to get down to the tailgate tomorrow before game, of course, and then afterwards I'm going to try to get over to Applebee's if I have enough time. So that's two promises that I'm going to work very hard to keep to Bison Nation. I had a lot of people reach out to me saying, "Where were you at, man?" So I'm gonna try to keep my word and make that happen.
For those that don't know, you also have a few other things you do after the game. It's not just call the game and go straight home.
Yeah, nope.
There are a few other things that Rob Hipp is doing when he signs off from, especially home games as well, talking with Coach and a few other items to take care of. So if you make it over, you make it over. Jeff almost never did, so I won't hold it against you.
All right, one. I'll try to get to one.
Yeah, if you can get to one or two, come over and enjoy some time. They got a great unlimited boneless wing special for just $12.99 at Applebee's. So if there's not already enough incentive, there's a great incentive. $12.99 unlimited boneless wings.
That's good. I don't like the bone-in wings. I'm not a fan of that.
I can go either way, honestly.
I can't do the bone-in, man, because it's just, it's sloppy. I want to eat a little. When you got a baby, everything's sloppy. I don't need more sloppy in my life. I need a little clean.
Well, I think boneless wings can get a little dirty, a little messy, too.
Sometimes I'll bust out the fork and knife. I'll get hearts over that one. So
it does get a little bit more messy, a little messier with the bone in. There's no doubt about it, but I don't mind either one. But you got the boneless wing special there at Applebee's. How about this? Let's take our first break. We'll break here. We'll come back. We'll talk some Incarnate Word, find out what is the word on the word. Karl Schoening, their color analyst for their games, will join us on the show. When we come back, a first-time guest. We'll talk about Incarnate Word and that big-time performance in week number 1 and what it will take here to get a win over an FBS Poe in Nevada in week number 2. That's next here on The Insiders, brought to you by Proceed.
You're home for the Thundering Herd.
Hey, you got any left-handed football?
Bison 1660.
I think what makes Proceed win is we're different than the other companies in many ways with our programming, our simplicity, our non-corporate attitudes, and our personal relationship building.
What Proceed is, we bring back the old-fashioned seed buying experience. We're true seedsmen. We care about everything from the sale to the planting to following up afterwards. That's what we're all about, is just trying to bring that experience back to a personal level.
Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
No one wants to think about it, but the cooler weather and cold morning starts are right around the corner. Get your vehicle ready at one of the 3 locally owned Jiffy Lubes of Fargo. Oil changes are the #1 maintenance item that's neglected. At Jiffy Lube of Fargo, it's easy. No appointment needed. Just drive up and drive in for your signature service oil change and a free charging system check to ensure your vehicle will be ready when you are. Jiffy Lube of Fargo, proudly serving the metro area for over 40 years, where you can do more in a jiffy.
Are you a business owner with remodel plans in the near future? When it comes to your electrical needs, you only need one call, and that's to JDP Electric. JDP's team of professionals will work with you closely and are able to follow a strict timeline to get your project done when it's needed. That way, you don't have to worry about closing your doors and missing any customers or sales. Put your company in the best hands by calling JDP right away. Call 701-232-1991 today to experience the JDP difference, or online at jdpelectric.net.
This guy had more issues with his eyes. The minute he first came out of surgery, he walked in with a huge grin on his face, and for the first time since he was a little kid, he could see perfect.
Going to Vance Thompson Vision was an easy experience. If you're going to trust your eyes to anybody, trust them to a leader in that field.
When it came time for me to make a decision about where we were going to go for my LASIK surgery, there was no question that it would be Vance Thompson Vision.
Call 877-522-EYES to schedule a free consultation.
Dakota Refrigeration has been helping the Bison succeed behind the scenes. From their training room to their dining room, from milk to medicine, from ice to ice cream, Dakota Refrigeration has been serving Minnesota, Montana, and the Dakotas for over 4 decades. Locally owned and operated since 1974, Dakota Refrigeration is a full-service source for your refrigeration, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and electrical needs. Dakota Refrigeration, located in Fargo, Bismarck, and Minot.
With the rising threat of cybersecurity attacks, you need to ensure your business is fully protected. Data loss, ransomware attacks, and other breaches can disrupt your business and damage your reputation. Consolidated Communications Cloud Secure Service safeguards your business from these attacks by securing your network, data, and applications. We proactively monitor your security to prevent intrusions before they compromise your IT systems while protecting your staff in the office or when working remotely. Visit consolidatedcommunications.com/cloudsecure to protect your business.
You hear that? The herd is headed your way. You're hearing from the insiders right here on Bison 1660.
11:28 on the program. Welcome on in. Welcome back on in. You can watch our shows each and every day on our Facebook page, Bison 1660. Hello, everybody. Appreciate you watching. Streaming the show via the Horsch Cam. Horsch, Farming with Passion, online at horsch.com. That's HORSCH.com. We'll be live at Applebee's tomorrow for Bison Hotline, our post-game show. Myself, Chris Hansen, also James Hendricks. Jimmy Football will be live there. Enjoy that unlimited boneless wing special for just $12.99, plus some great drink specials there as well going on at Applebee's. Come up for the show. You can register to win football tickets, yard signs, T-shirts, a whole bunch of other stuff, and we have some freebies, some free giveaways there at Applebee's just north of the Fargo Dome after NDSU hopefully gets done dismantling the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. Let's jump on over to the phone lines right now. Though a first-time guest on the program, first-time guest Karl Schoening, nice enough to give us some time. Color analyst covering Incarnate Word football, giving us the word on the word. Karl, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on with us. Looking forward to getting to talk to you, sir.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate y'all making the time, too, as well. It's such a regional sport at the FCS level that it's always nice to, go cross-country over the phone. It is finally 87 degrees down here in Texas, so I don't feel bad about doing this interview outside.
There you go. Love it. I hear you are good friends, or at least acquaintances that put up with each other, with Rob Hipp, our new voice guy here. What's your best Rob Hipp story before we dive into Incarnate Word?
Oh, man, you're putting me on the spot here.
Karl, I would say it was when we founded SHN, and we don't even remember founding it.
Yeah, that's obviously the biggest memory that I was about to say. We just decided one day to start a company. It was, hey, we both want to get into the industry of sports broadcasting, and we met at a bar, and we asked the people next to us, it's like, hey, what do you think of HSN? And the women said, oh, it's the Home Shopping Network. So we started a company called SHN. So yeah, that was a fun night.
And we won't talk more about that because the night went on, and then the morning we don't remember half of that night.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
That's why I didn't bring it up. I can't testify whether or not it's accurate.
Yeah, we don't know the actual accuracy of all that stuff. Well, that's a fun story. We'll find out a little bit more about Rob. We need to bring more people on like you to get a sense of what Rob Hipp is really like outside of the radio station and these four walls. Appreciate your time with us, though. Incarnate Word didn't really know what to expect from them in week number 1, to be quite honest with you. High-flying offense last year, but you lose Cam Ward, you lose the head coach. There's a lot of changes. Those changes didn't really matter because in week 1 you put up over 60 points on a good Southern Illinois team.
Yeah, it was probably the FCS matchup of the week if you were just going based off of preseason rankings. It was the only 2 top 25 ranked teams going at it. And obviously both teams were trying to start off on the right foot, building off of seasons where they were, they won a playoff game both last year. So, then Cam Ward, phenomenal 47 passing touchdown season with UIW last year, and Eric Morris, the head coach, they both go to Washington State. Thanks to the transfer portal, that was very easy for Eric Morris to kind of bring his quarterback to where he just got hired as an offensive coordinator. And then, GJ Kenny, the third is the new guy he was co-offensive coordinator at UCF, and they brought him over to UIW to kind of keep that fast-paced, high-tempo offense. And Lindsey Scott, the transfer from Nicholls State, threw for 6 touchdowns in the first game, so I think they kept it up.
Karl, this program, we were talking earlier before we brought you on with UIW. I'm familiar, of course, broadcasting there in the Southland back in the day, but how have they been so successful so fast? Football only came around in 2009, and I've been calling UIW a sleeper in the FCS. Kind of your thoughts on that?
Well, y'all are so spoiled up there in North Dakota where year in and year out it's, just high-quality football. But, in reality, a team can go from losing 2 seasons ago, only maybe picking up 3 wins, to a 10-win team if you just bring the right people in. I always like to say that history doesn't matter much to young men trying to make it. So, once you get the right people in there that know how to run your offense as a coach, everything clicks. Defense can, more or less just kind of be arena rules football, a field goal is a stop. But I do think that this era of football, it's real easy to get those high-power athletes and implement a high-power offense within 3 years.
Give us some insight into Lindsey Scott Jr. I mean, first game, 391, 6 touchdowns. Can't have a much better performance than that, but obviously you already mentioned Nicholls State transfer. We know that a little bit. Give us more of his backstory and the type of player and person he is.
Yeah, well, he actually led the Southland Conference in rushing yards last year with 990, if I'm remembering off the top of my head. He basically is just a running back that can also play quarterback. And I think somewhat that was the book on him, but in 18 games with Nicholls State, he became their 6th all-time leading passer in school history. And before that, he was at a JUCO, and his first year out of high school, he was with LSU. So, you recognize the talent, but sometimes, just when you go to an LSU, you're going to be dealing with a pretty heavy quarterback room, So I think sometimes, the quarterback position takes longer to develop, and he's really developed into a fine quarterback to replace Cam Ward. He only had 1 touchdown with his legs, but he can definitely pick up several touchdowns with his legs, and they might try and improve their run game because I talked to Coach Kenny after the game, and he said pretty much the one thing that they didn't want to do was, or the one thing they want to improve on is their running. And, when you're just getting, I think they had a 66-yard touchdown, a 55-yard touchdown, a 38-yard touchdown, all passing game, who needs to run?
Yeah, absolutely. And Karl, obviously 6 touchdowns. You're going to have a lot of receivers involved. Taylor Grimes went 3 catches, 126, and 2 touchdowns. Darian Chaffin had 4, 106, and 1 touchdown. How is that receiving core going to continue to develop as the season goes on, and who's really going to stand out?
Yeah, Darian is how he pronounced it. Darian Chaffin is somebody who has like an NFL prototypical body. He's a really good athlete. He's around 6'3", 190, and he can just go up and get the football, but he can also beat people. And, the UIW has, these receivers that can just sort of make plays. And I really am impressed with the just kind of overall blocking scheme that they brought out in that first game, too. Coach Kenny is a very talented offensive mind, and I just want to keep watching how he throws wrinkles in every week because a lot of those explosive plays were by design when they knew they had a mismatch, and they have a lot of good receivers, so there's going to be a mismatch every week.
Now they take on Nevada, McKay Stadium, 2:30, the kickoff between Incarnate Word and the Wolfpack of Nevada. Obviously, it's a chance to knock off an FBS team and a fairly decent FBS team. We're looking at the line, and, well, Nevada only a 2-point favorite in this one, so even the people in Vegas think this one's going to be a close one over in Reno. What do you think of this game, and what are the chances Incarnate Word pulls it off?
So I get to share something a little personal, but I am a Texas State Bobcat. I graduated class of 2015, and our football team lost to UIW last year in their first ever FBS victory since UIW started in 2009. And, I think there's a good chance that they could possibly have back-to-back years where they could claim to be better than Texas State. Because Texas State, I think it was like 39-7 or 39-14, something along those lines that Nevada beat them by. And Nevada didn't necessarily dominate New Mexico State. So it really is sort of I think this is going to be an evenly matched up game. And, might be one of those, hey, home field's worth 6 points kind of things, and that's what the Wolfpack win by. But, with that thrilling win last year, this is a group of players that has been there before, and they know they can beat an FBS team.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really close game, and definitely keeping my eye to see even the amount of points scored by Incarnate Word in this one, because I think Southern Illinois is a very good team, but their defense has always kind of been a little bit suspect. If you put up 30-plus points against an FBS roster and that kind of team, that's almost like a moral victory. Are there any moral victories in this one from the broadcasting standpoint? We're just trying to see if they can put up points against an FBS team, see how legit that offense is?
I think that's always the fun thing about those games is it's sort of a barometer. Like you kind of saw last week when Texas A&M defeated Sam Houston State. There were positives that came out of that game for Sam Houston because the Aggies weren't happy about how thoroughly they won. And sometimes that's what's going to happen with any of these matchups. Even if you're an FBS going up to a P5, it's pretty standard. But when you play well against those kinds of teams, it can still kind of spark momentum because if you can play with, the quote-unquote upper division, then I'm pretty sure that you could play with your general conference. And I think that, it's arguable that the Southland Conference is improving, but they obviously have been gutted with all the conference realignment. So it'll be interesting to see what eventually happens with, just how you kind of see they rank up against the next level.
Karl, we've talked about much different team in UIW going back to 2014. College Game Day was in town here at Fargo, and I think it was the 6th largest crowd on record, well over 19,000 here. As UIW came in, they were shut out. It's a different team, so I'm looking forward to maybe the possibility of NDSU and UIW matching up again. It's going to be a lot different than it was back in 2014 for sure.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to refresh my memory. What happens if both teams go undefeated and they meet in the playoffs before Frisco?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it could. It depends what the seed is. Who would host that game, but I think it would be a fun game. And Incarnate Word obviously is putting up a lot of points. The other thing about this too, I get the sense on the outside looking in, Karl, again, Karl Schoening with us, color analyst for Incarnate Word. I get the sense they really invest into this program. Can you give us a sense of what level they invest into the football program and how they are trying to get themselves to be one of those top teams in the FCS?
Well, they're a private school, so none of their information on their salaries is out. But, I'm really impressed with the hire of Coach Kenny because he is a high-quality coach. It's his first head coaching job, but I could definitely see him, just becoming a star. He has NFL background. He played quarterback, receiver, and safety in the NFL, and he was Offensive Player of the Year with Tulsa at the quarterback position. I think he was a 3-year starter. So he has a really good offensive mind. He's rubbed shoulders with, Doug Peterson and Chip Kelly. So I think that there's something right there to, say that he has a lot of offensive firepower, and he inherits a good team, too, and he gets a good quarterback. And the backup quarterback is a transfer from Tarleton, Stephen Duncan, and he's pretty good. So, it comes down to, I think, that they invested in the head coach because they saw that they had the talent, and I imagine that that's, where it all goes because they have a nice field out there. It runs east to west, so it can, kind of play a factor in the game in the afternoon sometimes. But it's a really nice place to, watch a game on Saturday, and I think that they are investing heavily into it, but I don't know the actual public numbers, but they got themselves a good coach, and I think that's one of the most important things.
Yeah, coaching staff, recruiting, and facilities. I think they've done a good job in all those areas, and that helps build a program, especially a young program like Incarnate, where it is. Well, Karl, appreciate the time. I know you got to run, so thanks for giving us a little bit of time here today. I appreciate getting to know you. We'll hopefully catch up with you again down the road and find out more stories about Rob Hipp and talk about Incarnate Word a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I really just kind of want to add, I threw out that rhetorical undefeated question because I would love to see Rob Hipp back down here in Texas if UIW could host a game. I do believe, you know, it's possible, so it would be cool if they met up in the brackets. But, yeah, you know, you guys, good luck with everything that y'all got going up there, and can't wait, you know, to see how this football season plays out.
Of course. Karl Schoening, they're nice enough to give us some time. Appreciate him joining us as a first-time guest on the program. They're going to go undefeated. They got to get a win against Nevada. The thing is, if both teams go undefeated, they both would have FBS wins. Obviously, NDSU would face Arizona this next week if they're both undefeated, which a long ways down the road, a lot of time yet to get there. But, yeah, it'd be a fun matchup. I got the feeling they might be on opposite sides of the bracket, which means the only way they would face each other would then be in Frisco. But that would also kind of be a little bit home field advantage-ish for Incarnate Word in terms of distance. But we know, I mean, Bison Nation would outnumber them 7-1, so the crowd would feel more like a Bison home crowd, but it'd be in that state. It'd be in the backyard of San Antonio for Incarnate Word, at least a little bit. I don't know how far away is Frisco from San Antonio. You know Texas geography better than I do.
3.5 hours, 4 hours.
Okay.
But you know, Frisco is also South Fargo, so it's really Frisco's really just our backyard here in Fargo.
Well, yeah, it's the second home to basically everybody at this point. So that would be a fun matchup. I think they're a good team, and they're a team with a high-powered offense. Now, I know there's probably a lot of Bison fans rolling their eyes saying Southern speed. We've heard this a time or 12 or 1,000. We get it. They score a lot of points. But they did it against the Valley team. They did do that against Southern Illinois. And not that Southern Illinois is a juggernaut defensively, but they've had some good years. They've had better years defensively. They've had some players there on that side of the ball the last handful of years. So, you know, to put up 60-plus against any team in the Valley, especially a team that's projected to be in the top half of the Valley at the start of the season, that says something. So, I do think they're moving at least in the right direction. We'll see if they can make that upset against Nevada. Should be a pretty close game, at least. I think it should be.
I think it'll be pretty close, and maybe third FBS victory, FCS over FBS victory. We've had 2 already this season. Let's get a third, and then a fourth. We don't want to look too far ahead, but let's get a fourth for our guys.
Right, exactly. Get another one the following week and just try and keep that trend rolling downhill. Our show brought to you today in part by The Spirit Shop. Need to stock up on all your favorites for watching football? The Spirit Shop has you covered with their huge selection of beer, wine, or spirits at the best prices and great weekly specials. The Spirit Shop off 13th behind Shields Home and Hardware. And also brought to you by Men's Hair Company, the only place to go for haircuts, waxing, shaves, beard care, and more. With 5 Fargo-Moorhead, West Fargo locations to choose from, go with the home team for your haircuts this football season. Schedule your appointment today at menshairco.com. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Overreaction or not an overreaction from game number 1 of the NFL season next.
Champions play here.
This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No disrespect whatsoever, but I'm sorry to tell everybody the truth. He has small hands. He can't catch the ball.
You're home for the Thundering Herd. Bison 1660.
Bourbon lovers are a distinctive group, embracing the differences from other spirits, all while expecting the rich variation of a good whiskey. That's why the Fistful of Bourbon folks, who have over 100 years of whiskey blending experience, are born to serve to those lovers of good bourbon, creating the masterpiece of blending 5 distinct bourbon whiskeys, sweet, balanced, and floral, with notes of cinnamon and licorice and buttery toffee. Fistful of Bourbon delivers a smooth, rich, full-fisted flavor like all top-shelf bourbon whiskeys should. See it all at fistfulofbourbon.com. Please consume Fistful of Bourbon responsibly.
We all want to be part of a winning team, right? Hi, this is Marcus with Steamatic, and I am very proud of our team. Industry experts have voted Steamatic the best method of cleaning with our patented steam cleaning process, our 24-hour service, and highly trained technicians. We do it all from carpet cleaning, air duct cleaning, fire and water damage restoration, and remember, Bison fanatics choose Steamatic.
Steamatic, call 232-4707.
Talking about your farm finances shouldn't be intimidating. This is Scott Zlondik with Cornerstone Bank. We're a locally owned and managed community bank. We know the ins and outs of ag banking, and more importantly, we know what it means to be there for our customers. Find the right person to talk to you about your finances, someone you feel comfortable with, someone you trust for the advice and direction you need. Come to Cornerstone Bank.
Cornerstone Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Here in North Dakota, we lead busy, full lives, and paying insurance premiums shouldn't be difficult or time-consuming. Nodak Insurance Company has a solution for fast, convenient premium payments for people on the go. You can pay your bill online when you go to our website or access our mobile app. It's that easy. Not a Nodak Insurance customer? We have the answer for that too. Find an agent near you or get our Nodak Insurance mobile app when you visit nodakins.com. Nodak Insurance. Agents with answers.
Here's your Red River Valley weather update.
Cloudy and drizzly with a 20% chance of rain for most of your Friday. A high of just 70 degrees. And tonight, partly cloudy skies and dipping down into the mid-40s. But tomorrow in the 70s and sunny for Bison tailgating. This weather update brought to you by Minn Kota Windows. Just when your kids thought it was time to head outside, a storm hits. Trust Minn Kota Windows. Minn Kota's high-quality vinyl windows will keep them and your home safe. Weather the storm with Minn Kota Windows. Midwest built, Midwest tough. Guaranteed for life.
Chris Hoffman is the founder and owner of Bonanza Agronomy Services, an independent consultant and seed provider. Chris, during these times, why is it so important to be working with an independent agent like Bonanza Ag?
When you're an independent, you literally cry when your customer cries, and you win when your customer wins. Because my company doesn't survive without farmers, period.
Make your operation run and perform better today. Meet Chris and Bonanza Ag on Facebook or at bonanzaag.com. That's bonanzaag.com.
Here for you, for all the Bison football coverage you can handle.
These guys do an unbelievable job, and you want to know what's going on in Bison sports, tune into the Insiders.
The Insiders on Bison 1660 and 92.7 FM.
Welcome back in. Final segment of hour number one here with you. Our show today brought to you in part by Red River Commodities and Sun Butter. Sun Butter is the maker of delicious sunflower butters the whole family can enjoy. Sun Butter is free of the top 8 food allergens as well, including peanuts, tree nuts, soy, and dairy, and grown in the tri-state area and produced locally at Red River Commodities in Fargo. Sun Butter, simple ingredients, delicious flavor. And all of our game week coverage, NDSU and North Carolina A&T, brought to you by Dagger Machinery. Whether you're looking to buy or sell heavy equipment, Dagger Machinery's tailored consignment programs and international network of buyers are just a call away. With no consignment seller's fees, professional marketing, and the experience you can trust, head to daggermachinery.com today. Want to give us a little game show theme music here, Micah? Let's play a little overreaction or not an overreaction to game number one, because we do that for every football game. We'll do that especially on Monday after week 1 of the NFL season. Everyone will freak out. We'll decide one team is great, one team is awful. It's time to move on from a player, or it's time to go trade for a player. That's what everybody does after week number 1. The Rams and the Bills last night. The Rams celebrating a Super Bowl victory. They are the ones that unveil the banner at SoFi Stadium. The Bills come in there, and boy, they didn't skip a beat, winning 31-10 and shutting the Rams out in the second half. There should be some on the top left corner there for you, Micah. A little Family Feud music. That should be the one for you. Appreciate that. We found it. So overreaction or not an overreaction, Rob? Matthew Stafford's elbow is an actual issue. He's had some elbow problems all offseason. Kind of like a Tommy John sort of injury, but to a quarterback. Says he's fine, says he's healthy, can make all the throws. Couple of errant passes that looked a little high. One of them looked a little off target on that first interception, too. Is the elbow an issue for Matthew Stafford in the Rams' passing game?
I think it is an issue, man. It's different. Tony Romo played with broken ribs. That's a little bit different. That seems more painful. But you're talking about throwing a football, yes. So it's an issue for him. Got to get that healthy.
Not an overreaction.
Not an overreaction.
Found Cooper Kupp a lot. People who had Cooper Kupp in fantasy had him in one league.
He had a good game.
Had him in a league. He had a great game. He was phenomenal. 1 touchdown. How he got 3 feet in on that touchdown catch, I'll never know, but he was able to. I would agree with you. I think that is not an overreaction. I think there's a legitimacy to the elbow just a little bit here early on, and he's got to get that sorted out. And it's not going to get better. He's just going to throw more and more as the season goes on, which you would think would affect that elbow, that throwing motion. And that last interception that was high, that one was one of those Matthew Stafford, I'm looking over here, but I'm throwing over there, trying to, a little impressive look-away pass. We're all like, oh, that's so cool. But when it doesn't work, eventually fans are going to be like, how about you just look at your receiver and throw, okay? How about you stop missing them if it happens more and more? So
He did lead the league in interceptions a season ago. He was tied with Trevor Lawrence. So a couple of interceptions, I think 3 of them in week number 1. Not a great start for Matthew Stafford. Okay, overreaction or not an overreaction. This is maybe even for the fantasy football crew. But Cam Akers not going to be a big impact for the Rams offensively. Overreaction or not an overreaction?
I'm neutral on that. I'm kind of neutral on that one.
Why?
I haven't followed what Cam Akers has been up to lately.
Yeah, well, he was hurt all of last year. He was a big-time fantasy ad. Then he got hurt. Didn't use him a whole lot. People drafted him like the 3rd or 4th round, right, Micah?
Yeah, don't get me started on Cam Akers. He's on one of my 6 teams, but still, it still frustrates me to no end that he had 2 carries for 0 yards and did nothing.
Everyone assumed he's coming back. He's healthy. He's going to be the dude, right? Well, Darrell Henderson got every carry, it seemed like, and almost every single snap, too. So Cam Akers only a couple of carries. He caught one pass where Matthew Stafford threw it to him 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage to start with. That doesn't help him out. But he got almost no run. I'm going to say overreaction, though. It's the first game. This was a Bills defense that you got to get downhill. Downhill running game is more involved. You're not getting outside on these guys with their great linebackers and outside defensive ends. So this was more of a Darrell Henderson game. I think Sean McVay's going to mix it up a little bit. I still think Cam Akers is valuable. I'm not going to overreact from just one game. I think he's good, but that was a little bit surprising in game number 1.
I think it's the correct reaction. I don't think he's going to get carries at all, but I'm a fantasy football player, and I
it's
didn't
time to
see
trade
anything.
Him. Might as well trade him then.
He has no trade value.
That's a problem.
I would have liked to see you just get 1 yard on 3 carries at least.
Right?
Something, okay?
It's something
3 carries,
positive.
no yards. I'm still neutral, though. It's week 1.
I have Joe Burrow as the MVP on that board back there. Is it an overreaction or not an overreaction to say I should erase that and put Josh Allen as the MVP of the league?
Ooh.
Joe Burrow hasn't played yet, so I think it'd be an overreaction if you have to put Josh Allen in there already.
Rob?
I think Allen, stellar performance, but I agree with Micah. Let's get through the first week, see what Burrow does, then make that decision.
Did have a couple of interceptions, Josh Allen. One of them was not his fault at all. Isaiah McKenzie's got to catch the ball, not just deflect it off his chest right to the defender. But 3 touchdowns, and he looked cool, the coolest customer in the room. As, who was it? The late... former broadcaster for ESPN. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name now, but cool as the other side of the pillow. He was a cool customer there all night long. Even when the interceptions happened, it seemed like he was completely in command of that entire offense. So Josh Allen looked really good, but I'd say it's probably an overreaction to say MVP after 1 game. But he was the MVP frontrunner as well, so going to be a tough player to knock down for sure.
He took ownership too. He said, "Look, we got to get better." I mean, that first half it could have been zilch on the board for LA. So he took credit, said, "Look, it's my fault." Took ownership. Second half, run away. That's how it happened.
The Rams were famous for not playing anybody in the preseason. They kind of started this trend of we're never playing any of our starters, not even a single snap. We're not risking any injury. These guys are good enough. They don't even need to play in the preseason. Just give me the regular season. Well, it looked pretty sloppy out there for most of the first half. A lot of turnovers, some penalties, didn't move the ball well. I thought there was zero chemistry between Allen Robinson and Matthew Stafford. And then the second half, they looked a little bit tired as well. So overreaction or not an overreaction to say, start playing some guys in the preseason because they didn't look. It looks like that might have been the reason they started pretty slow last night.
Not an overreaction. We always say preseason doesn't really matter. Well, yeah, it gives you a chance to see your guys and see people that you may not see during the regular game. So, yeah.
I'd say it's an overreaction, and this is why. That's the reason why it happened. I'm convinced that's the reason why. They don't play in the preseason. They look sloppy. They were slow. There was no timing, no rhythm between Matthew Stafford and Allen Robinson. Hardly even looked his way, even when he was open a couple of times. So that wasn't great for their start of the season. And defensively, they were tired. You could tell by the middle of that second half, they had to rotate more guys in. They were tired a bit. And it was hot there in that game in Southern California, too. But that's a big reason why. That's the main reason why, because they didn't play in the preseason. But still, if I'm balancing pros and cons of the preseason, okay, not playing him in the preseason, what's the con? I'm probably going to be really bad in week 1. I might still win. You never know. But we lost in week 1. So the con is we could lose in week 1 because we're a little sloppy. The pro is I'm not getting injured. What happens if you do play in both of the 2 or of the 3 preseason games and Aaron Donald gets a separated shoulder or a broken rib to Cooper Kupp on a hit across the middle or something like that? then you're possibly hurting yourself for 4, 5, 6 games, maybe even a season if the worst case happens. This is just one game.
Yeah,
so I still think it's the right decision to do.
It's the risk of the game, though. It's
Right.
like saying, if you're an athlete and you got kids at home, should you not play with them whenever, it's you don't want to get injured, so you'll mess up your NFL career. It's just the risk of the game. Suck it up. Play the game.
Okay. If they get hurt, then that's your fault.
That's their fault.
Yep.
They shouldn't have got hurt.
Well, okay, you can't just control injuries on that. That is a completely erroneous thing to say, but okay.
Are we going to be worried about the Vikings now in Week 1 against the Packers? Our starters didn't play all preseason.
They didn't play all and they're going to be sloppy. It's going to happen for any team that doesn't play it. That is why you need to play it. People say it's worthless, it's useless. No, preseason matters. Preseason does help you get good for the regular season, but at what cost? The Steelers, T.J. Watt hurt. Is it worth it to make sure he's up to speed for game 1? Probably not. But if you don't, then people aren't quite as up to speed for the opener game. Risk you take, I guess, either way.
Preseason important for the players, for the fans. I don't care to watch preseason.
Yeah, same. I'm not spending a ton of money to go to a preseason game.
I went to a Cowboys preseason game, and I paid a ridiculous amount of money at the new stadium to sit up top. I said, why did I do this? It was dead air. Everything just felt like it was... There was nothing. It was not enjoyable at all. Would never do it. Would never recommend it again.
They hand out the programs at preseason games for free. They give you free program.
The crossword puzzle in there in a word search.
People just take the programs and turn it into paper airplanes and throw them on the field. There was at least 1,000 paper airplanes at US Bank Stadium for that preseason game with the 49ers. At least 1,000. That is not an exaggeration. They were falling in front of everyone's face every other minute or every minute. There was like 4 or 5 of them on the TV screen. You could see it easily. So I don't think fans care about it too much either. But again, if you don't play them, that's the risk you take. You're probably going to be a little sloppy in week number 1. And they're in a division where every win might matter. Them and the 49ers and the Cardinals going to be pretty good teams. So that could be one that, and maybe, who knows, maybe it's not just week 1. Maybe week 2, they're still a little bit slow. They're trying to figure some things out. First couple weeks don't mean everything, but they will mean something in that division. No doubt about it. So there you go. Overreaction or not an overreaction from game number 1 of the NFL season. We'll do that again on Monday because Monday is going to be the biggest overreaction day of the entire year. We're going to make statements on a team based off one game, players' careers. My favorite's going to be Trey Lance. Everyone, if he has a good game or a bad game. Now, I won't say good game. If he has a good game, the reaction's going to be, okay, let me see you do it against the better team.
Bears.
It was the Bears. We didn't see much. If he has a bad game or things don't go perfectly, oh my gosh, are they Jimmy G? Jimmy G already? Yeah, we'll hear that stuff. And the same thing with Justin Fields in that game. Also a young quarterback, same year as Trey Lance. We're going to compare those two, contrast them. Overreactions abound in week number 1. We love it.
Well, for the Rams, they were the second longest team with active win streaks on kickoff weekend. Kansas City, 7 in a row. LA Rams before that game, 5 in a row. Gone.
Gonzo.
No more.
The Bills
Adios.
took that one away. And honestly,
Dunsky.
They won 31-10 with 4 turnovers. They turned it over 4 times and still won by 21. Could have won that thing by 35, maybe 31 if it's a touchdown and a field goal instead of those interceptions or fumbles. Like, they could have won that thing, and it was convincingly. It was a lopsided victory. They could have really put a hurt on the Bills in week number 1 if they don't turn the ball over a couple times. And they didn't play all their starters a ton either. That's another little sloppy in week number 1. A few turnovers there, although one of the guys that fumbled, James Cook, played a ton in the preseason. It's another rookie running back a lot of people were high on, and he got his first carry, a fumble, and didn't see the playing field again until like mid-third quarter at that point.
I'm not too worried. Kareem Hunt did the same thing.
Yeah. It's just 1 week, just 1 carry, but they also got a crowded backfield there in Buffalo. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Hour number 2 will kick things off with the voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way. Texas has Alabama this week. A big matchup for them. We'll go over that with Craig Way when we come back to start off hour number 2 of the Insiders on a Friday.
As the days get shorter and the temps get a little cooler, now is the time to start thinking about projects for Rick Electric in your home this fall. Hey, it's Chris Hansen. Rick Electric has been proudly providing services in the Fargo-Moorhead area since 1964. Right now's a great time to schedule your winter projects, like having a Generac whole house generator with automatic transfer switch installed, or more outlets for Christmas lights. Rick Electric, 233-6194, or go to rickelectric.com.
Farmers, are you tired of getting docked at the co-op? IntelliFarm's Bin Manager can help. Our state-of-the-art bin management system can help you control your grain. Our systems help monitor your bins and will automate the fans and heaters to ensure the proper moisture content and help you get the highest yield possible from all your hard work. With Bin Manager, you can make your grain work for you. For more information, call today, 1-833-BIN-MNGR. That's 1-833-246-6647. IntelliFarms, know your grain.
Fall is about tradition. Tradition on the field with Bison football and tradition in the cooler with Bud Light, the official beer of the NDSU Bison. When you're enjoying a clean sack or a perfectly timed touchdown pass, let the crisp, cold, clean taste of Bud Light tackle your taste buds. The only bigger crowd pleaser on Saturday is another Bison win. Whether it's in the tailgate zone, a couch gate at home, or inside the Fargo Dome, the Bison go best with Bud Light, the official beer of the NDSU Bison. Please drink responsibly, never drink and drive.
Living at the Bridges has been a great experience for me, and I'm inviting you to come check it out too. Hey, it's Paige Vargas, pitcher for the Bison softball team. The Bridges has all-inclusive pricing. That means internet, cable, electric, water, everything is included in your one monthly payment. The units are fully furnished. It has a fitness center, outdoor courtyard with fireplaces and grills, an automated convenience store. And it's right across from the Shack, so I can walk there every day. Tour today to find out more. Online at bridgesnd.com.
The Bison Hotline postgame show is broadcasting live this year from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo. Come see the Bison 1660 crew live after every NDSU football game and register to win prizes including Bison 1660 t-shirts, tickets to upcoming games, and a whole lot more. Plus, take advantage of the great food and drink specials at Applebee's. Bison Hotline broadcasting live after every NDSU football game from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo, right across from the Fargo Dome. Horns up.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska. Proudly serving Bison Nation with reliable insurance coverage for your auto, farm, and home. Powered by unmatched financial strength and a prompt claim service team. Let us put our more than 130 years of industry experience to work for you. Visit fmne.com to contact your local agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska. Always alongside you.
KQWB West Fargo, KPFX HD3 Kindred, and K224FD Fargo. Bison 1660, powered by Gateway Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nissan, and Hyundai in Fargo.
And here's what you need to know.
News in the NFL this morning, the Ravens announcing they could not reach agreement with quarterback Lamar Jackson on an extension prior to today's deadline. The team says, however, they will continue to work on a long-term deal after the season. Jackson set to earn $23 million this year. Reports say the Titans and safety Amani Hooker have agreed to a 3-year extension worth $33 million with more than $19 million guaranteed. And the Jets ruled out left tackle Dwayne Brown for the team's opener against the Ravens. BYU Athletics completed its investigation into the allegations of a fan using racial slurs during a women's volleyball match against Duke on August 26. The school says it has not found any evidence after an extensive review. Major League Baseball's competition committee is voting today on sweeping rules changes, including banning the shift and implementing the pitch clock. Finally, the Premier League is suspending play this weekend following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. I'm Nick Cope.
You've got the insiders.
How you play today, from this moment on, is how you will be remembered.
That's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face.
Bringing you what you need to know and a whole lot more. Topics you care about, guests you know, and the conversations you came to hear. The Insiders are presented by Proceed. Need seed? Think Proceed.
This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Now, here are the Insiders.
The Insiders.
The Insiders.
The Insiders. Insiders.
Rob Hipp and Andy Rickoff.
Welcome back into the Insider's second hour of the program, rolling right along with you. Andy Rickoff, Rob Hipp, Micah Bindi with you on the show, and all of our game week coverage, NDSU and North Carolina A&T, is brought to you by Dagger Machinery. Whether you're looking to buy or sell heavy equipment, Dager Machinery's tailored consignment programs and international network of buyers are just a call away. With no consignment seller's fees, professional marketing, and the experience you can trust, head to DagerMachinery.com today. That's DAGGER Machinery.com. And we're inside our Thoroldson Ethanol Broadcast Center, as we are almost every day. We're out of the studio a little bit sometimes, but most of the time we're here inside our Thoroldson Ethanol Broadcast Center. Thoroldson Ethanol, one of the nation's largest growing ethanol facilities, with a 175 million gallon per year ethanol plant located just west of Castleton. You can join their growing team right now and fuel your future by viewing open positions online at ThoroldSonEthanol.com. Let's head on over to our Epic Companies hotline right now, though, and talk with a guy that's got a big game coming up this weekend down in the state of Texas as the Texas Longhorns welcome on in the Alabama Crimson Tide, the #1 team in the country. And the play-by-play voice of Texas, one Craig Way, nice enough to give us a little bit of his time. Craig, always appreciate this. Thanks for coming on with us, sir. I know it is a busy time for you, but a big game and a big opportunity for Texas and the Longhorns here this week against Alabama. How does it feel down in that state where football is everything to have football back in full force?
Like it probably does there in Fargo and so many other places. Excited to have a brand new football season. Great to be on with you guys. And even as heavily favored as Alabama is going into this game, there's a great deal of palpable excitement given the fact that they haven't had a non-conference opponent of this caliber come in since, I guess, Notre Dame 7 years ago. So it's been a while, and folks are fired up about it.
Craig, it seems like there's so much great things happening in Austin. I know there for a couple of years, some of the Longhorn fans were getting a little edgy saying what's going on with our team, but you just mentioned Alabama coming in. And then, big things happening around campus with the Moody Center opening up. Can you just talk a little bit about the fan base there with UT and what's going on? And, of course, all the new upgrades at Royal Stadium. There's so many great things happening down there.
There are, Robin. There are folks that are very excited about it, I think. And people are anxious for the football program to be back and contending on a national basis. Texas, back-to-back years, has won the Learfield Directors' Cup for being the top overall athletic program in college athletics. And as Sark said, that had nothing to do with us. We didn't hold up our end of the bargain, football going 5-7 last year. So he said, that didn't have anything to do with us. It was the other programs that did it as well. Men's basketball got to the second round of the NCAA tournament there, which is the farthest they've gotten in 8 years, but I think folks are expecting bigger and more exciting things under Chris Beard in his second year. And, of course, now they have the brand-new Moody Center, as you mentioned. It's a really unique basketball arena because in its regular concert setup, it's a 15,000-seat arena, and it's beautiful. It's this great 15,000-seat arena for concerts. But for basketball, they have panels that lower. It's not going to be any of that curtain draping of upper-level seats, but the panels that will lower cover up the seating area, so it looks like a true 10,800 basketball seat arena, and they're hoping to have a really big home court advantage. So, yeah, there's excitement about that. And then, obviously, you mentioned with Bevo Boulevard and what they're doing with the football program and the game day environment makes for some pretty exciting times in Austin. Now they just want the football program to be able to match it.
Alabama at Texas, a 20-point favorite in that game, as you mentioned, Craig, heavily favored. Every fan base says, bring on Bama. We want Bama. Every single fan base says it. And then when they actually get there, sometimes the mood changes a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the fan base is still extremely excited for it. How do you think the fan base is reacting now just a couple hours away from kicking things off against Alabama?
Oh, yeah. It could definitely become a be careful what you wish for type of situation. No doubt about that. I think there's the added wrinkle here, Andrew, the fact that Texas down the road in a year or two is going to be moving into the Southeastern Conference. So the fact that, folks are looking at this maybe a future preview of what will be a conference game in the SEC in future years. Texas has the return game in Tuscaloosa next year. It is possible. I don't know that it's wholly probable, but definitely possible that when Texas and Alabama play next year, that they could leave that game on the schedule as a conference game. There's negotiations underway still to try to ease some of the hard feelings of the Big 12 and see if they can, ease the path for Texas and Oklahoma to exit the Big 12 in 1 year instead of a couple of years down the road and get on to the SEC, especially as the Big 12 is looking to possibly continue its expansion. So, folks get excited about it, no doubt about it, and it's a little bit different than in your garden variety, big-time non-conference opponent, and for no other reason. A, it's the number one team in the country, and this is only the third time in the history of Texas Longhorn football that the number one team in the country will play in Austin. It happened in 1950 when SMU came in and Texas upset SMU that day. And it happened in 2006. I know Rob will remember this. When Ohio State came in, Texas was coming off the national championship, and Colt McCoy was a redshirt freshman starting at quarterback, and Ohio State came in with their impending Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Troy Smith. Buckeyes won that contest, and, that this will be the first time that a reigning Heisman Trophy winner will have played in Austin with Bryce Young leading Alabama in here.
Craig, I just wanted your take. You go back 7 days ago, the College Football Playoffs Board of Managers voted to expand the playoff to 12 teams, and we've been talking about that this week on the Insiders about, especially Texas facing Alabama, number one. If things don't go Texas' way, it's almost like now your hopes of a national championship are over because it's almost in a world where you have to win every game to have that opportunity. I just wanted your thoughts on expanding to 12 teams and how that's going to impact Texas and other teams.
I think it's great, Rob. I hope that the playoff comes sooner rather than later. I've always been a more is more guy for that sort of thing. I think that the NCAA basketball tournament shows how exciting an expanded field can be, and I hope it's there. I do think also that it serves another purpose, and this may or may not affect Texas, but it certainly could affect the group of 5 schools and maybe even some of the schools in the Power 5 leagues that are still trying to fight their way toward the top. And that is the fact that the current system as it stands right now benefits the greatest of the haves. And there are haves and have-nots, but the greatest of the haves, you think of Alabama, you think of Ohio State, you think of Clemson, you think of, those teams that are at the top of the list just about every year. And a big part of that is, I think there are a lot of student athletes who choose either to go to one of those institutions or transfer through the portal into those institutions because they want to have a realistic shot at playing for a national championship. It happened with Georgia, and it's obviously happened with Alabama and Ohio State. So these schools, and Clemson included, that those same list of cast of characters, it happens almost every year. So a lot of the same best players in the country are going to these institutions, if not as high school graduating seniors, then through the transfer portal, because they want a realistic shot at playing for a national championship in a playoff that only includes 4 teams. Well, if you expand it to 12, then some other schools have a realistic shot, at least of getting into the playoff, and then who knows once you get into the playoff. So that's why I think it would be good for college football overall, and certainly in the short term, good for even schools like Texas who are trying to fight their way back through it and who have never participated in the college football playoff.
Can the radio play-by-play voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way, with us here on the Insiders. They take on Alabama coming up tomorrow there in Austin. I wanted to ask you about the quarterback, Quinn Ewers, game number 1, pretty good results, 225 yards, a couple of touchdowns, does throw that 1 interception. What is the hype around him? Still a young player, first year as a starting quarterback, I believe, but this is a chance to put his stamp on the program right here.
Yeah, I think that folks got a chance to see some of the excitement of what he can do. Some of the throws he was able to fit. Now, you mentioned the interception, and I think that was a good learning experience because at that point, Sark was able to pull him aside, and they were able to talk about it, but he said he could tell even after he threw the interception that it wasn't going to affect him, that he was going to be okay, and he was exactly that, and was able to make some really impressive throws. And the other thing, fellas, about this deal is that Quinn is a guy, and we saw this really early on, to whom other players have just gravitated. They really think the world of him. I was at late-season basketball games, obviously, men's and women's basketball games, to call Texas games, and he would be there with other football players. They were there with him. It's not a knock at Hudson Card, but it's just showing how the guys really kind of gravitated to Quinn and the effect that he has on the program. So I think that was something. I think it's several things. Obviously, you got to have a guy who can make good decisions on the football field and have the skill set, and he does have those things. But I think he's got a little bit of that it factor in him as well. Now, he's a freshman, and he's still learning, and he took 4 garbage time snaps while at Ohio State as a true freshman. So in essence, he really is getting his feet wet for the first time. But it's pretty exciting to see what he's capable of doing, and we'll get a better look at it, obviously, tomorrow to see how he does against the Crimson Tide.
A nice thing for a young quarterback is to have a really, really good running game, and I think Texas has that. And Bijan Robinson, one of the best, if not the best, running back in the country. Where does he rank in the hierarchy of Texas all-time running backs, in your opinion, getting to see him now for a little while?
I think it depends on what he does this year, but Bijan has had a great first couple of years as a Longhorn. He's a preseason All-American this year, and he's an even better person. Great young guy. There's been so much buzz about him having an NIL deal with Lamborghini, and he does, but he also has an NIL deal with a company that makes Dijon mustard. So it's Bijan Mustardson, Bijan's Dijon, and I asked him the other day in the post-game interview, hey, what does this stuff go good on? Hot dogs, sandwiches? He said, yeah, but it goes good with potato chips too. And I went, what? Potato chips? He goes, it goes good with just about anything. I said, spoken like a true endorser of an NIL product. But he endorses his team, and he does really well. He's got great moves, great shifting. The big test for how effective Bijan can be, not only tomorrow, but throughout the season, is how fast this very, very young offensive line can grow up. They're starting 2 true freshmen on the offensive line, and that's tough to do, especially let alone against the number 1 team in the country. But as these guys continue to get a little better, get more reps, then obviously it's going to make it life easier for Quinn and for the passing game, and certainly for Bijan in a pretty deep running back room. Roshan Johnson is back for his senior year, outstanding blocking back, and a guy who can run the ball and catch the ball out of the backfield. And additionally, they have a couple other guys that can make a difference. Is that Keelan Robinson's an Alabama transfer who has been a standout on special teams, excelled there. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he can run as well. So I think probably the running back position is the deepest one in this entire Longhorn roster. We'll see how quickly the offensive line can ramp up to make those guys more effective.
Hey, Craig, one last quick, brief question from me just to tie it into Bison Nation. So much success up here in Fargo. What have you thought about this program over the years and just how it continues to grow and excel?
It's a hallmark program. It's folks know that just as Alabama has been the standard bearer for Division I FBS football, same thing with the Bison in FCS play. And they are the gold standard. And that's why, it's not just folks in Fargo and in North Dakota, as you know, Robin, but it's been like that all over the country. Folks have grown accustomed to seeing them come down and play in Frisco when they play the FCS championship game there. Have Gainesville travel wherever the Bison are going. It's going to be tough to beat them, and it'll be the same again this year, no doubt.
I just know Bijan's Dijon goes better with a win. And that's what they're hoping to get this weekend as Texas takes on Alabama. Craig Way going to be calling that action, and nice enough to give us some time today. Craig, really appreciate it. Know you guys are busy down there with the big game coming up here tomorrow, but appreciate some of your time, and good luck with that call tomorrow.
Listen, I can honestly say this week, because of the hype, that I have been on radio from Fargo to Mobile. So it's great to be on in Fargo, and best of luck to the Bison this year as well.
Best of luck to you guys as well, Craig. Appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us. There's Craig Way, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, giving us some time as they got a big one, folks. Alabama coming to town. As I said there, everyone says, bring on Bama. We want Bama. We want Bama. When Bama arrives, it's a little bit like, okay. You start to back down. It gets a little quieter. Still, I think, puffing their chest a little bit. We can upset them. We'll see how it goes after the first quarter and how that game is looking. But, hey, young quarterback, make your stamp. Steve Sarkisian, high up to offense, and they are moving to the SEC. So this is the type of teams they're going to start facing on a week-in and week-out basis.
Craig's a friend, so I don't want to tell him, but I was never a big Longhorn fan growing up. Literally 20 minutes from Austin, I never was. I was always a big Baylor fan. But if there's any Texas fans out there, look, guys, I love you as people, but I just think that Texas for so many years, and nothing on Craig or anybody, I didn't tell him this, but I just think they're a highly overrated program. Big time overrated.
Well, I think the problem not necessarily a problem, but since they won that national title, since
shouldn't have counted
Vince
because
Young,
his knee was down.
USC, all that stuff, right? Since then, they're a program with unrealistic expectations. And they give up on guys too quick, in my opinion. They bring a coach in. If he doesn't have a winning season in 2 years, he's gone. It's like, well, you guys haven't been good in a decade plus. None of the kids you're recruiting remember or have any idea about what Vince Young or the USC game or any of that kind of stuff. So you've got to give a guy coming in time to rebuild that program, but they never do, ever. They have unrealistic expectations for their program, which I think is their problem.
100%. And I go back, because all my Longhorn friends back in that area know, Vince Young's knee was down. And if the replay system would have been active back then, Texas probably wouldn't have that national championship.
But they'd still have the unrealistic expectations of wanting to win the national championship. And I don't think they're overrated on the outside. I think everyone around here, Texas isn't going to maybe a periphery top 25 team, maybe at best. But inside Austin, deep in the heart of Texas, I think they're probably a little overrated there.
Yeah, if you're in the heart of Texas and you're a non-UT fan such as myself, nothing on. I mean, I'm all about athletes and all that, but I just see so much that happens with that program. I'm like, guys, my Longhorn friends, they always get discouraged. Like Alabama, they're probably going to lose against Alabama this weekend. And then all my friends that are Longhorns are going to be like, I don't know how we lost that game. And they will, just like you said, they will be like, Coach Sark's got to go.
Fire him.
Fire him immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to give the program time to develop.
Yeah.
Baylor gave Matt Rule a little bit of time, and look what happened.
Yeah.
A little bit of time is all he needed.
A couple of years might not work out, but I think they'll get better at some point. And who knows? You're going into the SEC. You need someone that knows how to coach in that league. Sark was offensive coordinator for Alabama. He's at least coached in the SEC. This hour of the program brought to you by Rick Electric. When you need electrical work, you need Rick Electric. For over 56 years, Rick Electric has been providing excellent electrical services for homes and businesses. Visit them online at rickelectric.com. And brought to you by Twin Peaks. If you're a fan of Twin Peaks, sign up for their e-club to stay up to date on all things Twin Peaks and to score free stuff. Visit them online at twinpeaksrestaurants.com. Eats, drinks, scenic views at Twin Peaks. And we will be at Twin Peaks as part of our Bison 1660 Road Tour. We will be there on September 13th and the following 2 weeks after the 13th on the 27th. So September 13th and 27th as part of our Bison 1660 Road Tour. And you can look at all of our stops on the road tour on our website, bison1660.com. Click on the Bison Road Tour icon logo on our main page there. It will take you to another page that has all of our tour stops. And again, September 13th and 27th at Twin Peaks off 42nd Street South. Our road tour brought to you by the Bridges Apartments. They make college living easy with all-inclusive pricing. Right now, if you get a lease for a year, you get 1 month free at the Bridges and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, they have fully furnished units. You can tour them today up by campus at NDSU or online at bridgesnd.com. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Some changes are a-coming to Major League Baseball. We'll go over those and our thoughts on them when we come back.
The most complete Bison coverage in the region. Your Bison Nation station.
You are deep in thought, which is always dangerous.
Bison 1660.
With over 900 vehicles in stock, Corwin Auto has you covered.
Looking for better fuel economy?
We have it with hybrids and electric vehicles.
Need more room for that growing family?
We have it. Upgrade to a van, SUV, or crossover.
Need more horsepower to work and play harder?
We have the biggest selection of new and used trucks in the area. Get exactly what you are looking for and don't settle when you can shop over 900 vehicles on the lot spot and ready for immediate delivery. Corwin Auto has you covered. Shop online, corwinauto.com.
It's week number 2 of the 2022 season, and NDSU is taking on a new opponent. The North Carolina A&T Aggies coming into the Fargo Dome for a 2:30 kick on Saturday afternoon. All of our game week coverage of NDSU and North Carolina A&T is brought to you by Dagger Machinery. Whether you're looking at buying or selling heavy equipment, Dagger Machinery is the name to call. With no consignment seller's fees, professional marketing, and the experience you can trust, head to daggermachinery.com today.
Living at the Bridges has been a great experience for me, and I'm inviting you to come check it out too. Hey, it's Phoenix Rolls. The Bridges has all-inclusive pricing. That means internet, cable, electric, water, everything is included in your 1 monthly payment. And it's right across from NDSU, so I can walk to practice and workouts. The amenities are insane. A fitness center, outdoor courtyard with fireplaces and grills, cyber cafe, and an automated convenience store. Tour today to find out more or go online at bridgesnd.com.
Did you know hyperbaric oxygen can decrease inflammation and speed up your healing process dramatically? I'm Menli with Fargo's first hyperbaric oxygen center, Healing with Hyperbarics, conveniently located off 45th Street. We are celebrating 4 years in Fargo, and as the experts in treating concussions, brain injuries, sports injuries, and post-COVID symptoms, we welcome you to find out how we can help you heal. We have an FDA-approved device to diagnose concussions and can treat the same day to get you back to feeling better faster. Find out how we can help you at healingwithhyperbarics.com.
Raise your glass at the start of Oktoberfest and keep it raised for Twin Peaks Authentic Steinhoisting Competition. Join in on Fridays in September at 6 p.m. for the chance to win weekly prizes and Sam Adams swag. And you better buckle up. Brunch is now being served at Twin Peaks. Wake up with the scratch favorites you love and classic brunch drinks that won't break the bank. Contact Twin Peaks for availability and more details. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
The construction is almost done at the Gateway Clearance Center, and the construction sale is going strong. No negotiations necessary, and payments starting as low as $99 a month. That's right, payments starting at just $99 a month at the Gateway Clearance Center, with a great selection of clean used cars, trucks, and SUVs. And right now, every vehicle is sale priced. Enjoy extra discounts for the construction sale going on now at Gateway Clearance Center on South University Drive in Fargo, or online at fmclearancecenter.com.
Hail to Bison, right here, your home for NDSU sports. This is Bison 1660.
Welcome back to the Insiders, brought to you by Proceed. Home of the right choice and right stuff programs online at proceed.net. If you need seed, think Proceed. I forgot to do something right at 12, right after Craig Way there, so we'll do it right here. We'll pick our winner for the tailgate giveaway, our ultimate tailgate package, courtesy of Bud Light, the official beer of the Bison. The key word this week was beer, B-E-E-R. That's the keyword you had to text. Our keyword changes every week. We'll have a new post next Monday with the keyword for next week that you have to text in to win the ultimate tailgate package. This week it was beer. We had a bunch of people get in on this one. Micah Bindi, can you give me a number somewhere between 1 and 75? Anywhere between 1 and 75, and then a drum roll sound effect as I scroll down to wherever that number you pick is. 25. Mic on. There we go. 25 is the number. I do have to scroll down a little bit for that one. 25. Okay, I am ready. The winner of the Ultimate Tailgate giveaway for week number 2 from Bud Light is Dan Bruns. Congratulations to Dan Bruns for the big win on the Ultimate Tailgate giveaway, courtesy of Bud Light. Week number 3 next week. Keyword will change. Go to our Facebook page, Bison1660, to find out who or what the keyword is, and then text it to us at 701-476-1660. Congratulations to Dan Bruns, big winner of a Ultimate Tailgate package courtesy of Bud Light. It's a case of Bud Light, got some glasses in there, some different Bison swag as well. Somebody asked me at Sickies yesterday, what's swag? What is that? Just T-shirts or something. We don't want to say exactly what it is because it might change. One week it's T-shirts, maybe it's sweatshirts or something like that. So I don't know. It's just clothing, basically, is what I tried to phrase it.
That could be Phil Hansen's word, swag.
Yeah. Word of the game.
That's an easy word of the game, though, to be honest.
It is.
It's a very simple.
Didn't we have a word for him this next game? We thought of it up. but I forgot it.
That's a you and Cole Yilanemi thing at this point. So
UNCY, y'all threw one at me, and I forgot what it was.
Miffed.
Because I miffed it.
Yeah.
That doesn't flow in that sentence, does it?
Yeah.
That's not the definition of the
no,
word.
not at all.
That guy.
You were miffed when they gave you that word.
Andy and I were talking about this earlier, that old show Home Improvement,
Kind of.
where you talk to Wilson over the fence, and then Wilson tells you something that's very deep and meaningful, and then Tim would go back and completely butcher it. That's me. You tell me something that's kind of deep and meaningful, and then I can't repeat it.
And you completely change it to whatever you basically want it to be at that point.
Week 2 of the Mind Honey coming up next week. We'll see if it's working.
We'll see if that short-term memory improves for you. You're going to need a lot of help, I have a feeling, on this one. Just kidding. But, hey, our show today, I'm not kidding about this. Our show is brought to you in part by Men's Hair Company. 5 FM locations, Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo locations for Men's Hair Company. They are your home team for haircuts this football season for all things waxing, haircuts, beard care, shavings as well. They're all great over there at Men's Hair Company. Go with the home team for your haircuts this football season online at menshairco.com. And this hour of The Insider is brought to you by Rick Electric. When you need electrical work, you need Rick Electric. For over 56 years, Rick Electric has been providing excellent electrical services for homes and businesses. Visit them online at rickelectric.com. Rob Hipp, can you, the voice of the Bison, give me a key to the game for NDSU against North Carolina A&T? It is our Consolidated Communications keys to the game. I need one from you.
Get a stop early. Do not allow A&T to strike first. That took the energy out of the Fargo Dome at the beginning, so come out. Play that great code green defense we are accustomed to, and do not allow them to score first.
I like that. Do not allow them to score first. Shut them down early. I got a feeling, there's some games, like, let's go back to the spring when NDSU lost to Southern Illinois. I think their next opponent was like Youngstown or somebody. We also that's a tough week for Youngstown. You don't want to face NDSU coming off a loss because they're going to be hyper-focused. I wouldn't want to be North Carolina A&T on those first couple of drives because everything's going to be extra dialed in. Every, T is crossed, I is dotted. Everything's going to be perfect for those first couple of drives, I got a feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, you were there, obviously. I was there. You could feel the energy, just the vacuum kind of came out, and everybody's like, what's going on? Got to take care of that opening drive. And it's going to happen.
Yeah. Our Consolidated Communications keys to the game. Consolidated Communications provides powerful, customer-focused communication solutions for businesses of all sizes. Contact Consolidated Communications for business data, cloud services, voice, network security, or a variety of digital workplace solutions for your business. We'll be at Consolidated Communications next week for their Customer Appreciation Barbecue over there at Consolidated. Appreciate them very much. We use them here at Radio FM Media for all of our internet and some phones and stuff. Phenomenal company. They do a great job. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More of our number 2. We'll get to them. We'll get to the changes coming to Major League Baseball when we come back.
Bison Nation, your exclusive home for North Dakota State Athletics. Bison 1660.
So most companies claim they have good people, good product, good customer service, but the question is how often. We go the extra mile to take care of our dealers and our growers, and more importantly, their families and their customers.
Proceed tries to bring a family-like experience. Farmers, we want to understand what their challenges are. We also want to bring products to them that help them overcome those challenges so that they can be as successful as possible.
Need seed, think Proceed. Proceed.net, great seed at a reasonable price.
Living at the Bridges has been a great experience for me, and I'm inviting you to come check it out too. Hey, it's Paige Vargas, pitcher for the Bison softball team. The Bridges has all-inclusive pricing. That means internet, cable, electric, water, everything is included in your one monthly payment. The units are fully furnished. It has a fitness center, outdoor courtyard with fireplaces and grills, an automated convenience store. And it's right across from the shack, so I can walk there every day. Tour today to find out more. Online at bridgesnd.com.
Our Road to the Ring is brought to you by Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry. It was a great start to the Road to the Ring for NDSU in Week 1, taking on the Drake Bulldogs. Although Drake scored first, the offense for NDSU is never going to be stopped in this game. The defense made some adjustments. The Bison were victorious 56-14, and a big moment in that game, Zach Mathis with his first career touchdown and the first score of the season for the Bison on a throw from Cam Miller. Also have to mention the great performance by Jake Cava, who gets a sack, tackle for loss, and a blocked field goal in the game. That was returned for a touchdown by Destin Talbert. The Road to the Ring, brought to you by Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry. They have a long history and reputation for quality workmanship and rock-solid pricing. Whether diamond engagement rings, custom jewelry, or repairs, let Brenda and the team at Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry create a legacy for you and your family. Next up for the Bison, North Carolina A&T this Saturday inside the Fargo Dome.
It's week number 2 of the 2022 season, and NDSU is taking on a new opponent. The North Carolina A&T Aggies coming into the Fargo Dome for a 2:30 kick on Saturday afternoon. All of our game week coverage of NDSU and North Carolina A&T is brought to you by Dagger Machinery. Whether you're looking at buying or selling heavy equipment, Dagger Machinery is the name to call. With no consignment seller's fees, professional marketing, and the experience you can trust, head to daggermachinery.com today.
Tecton Products is growing and looking for great people to join their team. Now hiring for manufacturing associates on both day and night shift. Day shift runs from 6:30 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. and night shift runs from 6:30 p.m. to 6:45 a.m. Work 7 out of 14 days. Starting pay ranges from $23 to $25 per hour, plus additional pay for experience. Earn more through Tecton's Skilled Advancement Program. Apply online at tectonproducts.com. That's TECTON products.com.
With over 900 vehicles in stock, Corwin Auto has you covered.
Looking for better fuel economy?
We have it with hybrids and electric vehicles.
Need more room for that growing family?
We have it. Upgrade to a van, SUV, or crossover.
Need more horsepower to work and play harder?
We have the biggest selection of new and used trucks in the area. Get exactly what you are looking for and don't settle when you can shop over 900 vehicles on the lot and ready for immediate delivery. Corwin Auto has you covered. Shop online, corwinauto.com.
The Bison Hotline post-game show is broadcasting live this year from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo. Come see the Bison 1660 crew live after every NDSU football game and register to win prizes including Bison 1660 t-shirts, tickets to upcoming games, and a whole lot more. Plus, take advantage of the great food and drink specials at Applebee's. Bison Hotline broadcasting live after every NDSU football game from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo, right across from the Fargo Dome. Horns up.
Fall is here, and that means it's crunch time. Now's the time to make your big move before winter comes. And Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty is ready to help you make the big push across your real estate goal line. Call Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty today at 701-371-4234 or visit him at Beyond Realty, 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd is a proud partner and the preferred realtor of NDSU Athletics. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty, moving the herd one home at a time.
2 hours of sports talk every weekday, 11 to 1.
Well. Oh, my gracious.
Now, let's get back to the Insiders.
Insiders brought to you in part today by The Spirit Shop. You just stock up on all your favorites for watching football. The Spirit Shop has you covered with a huge selection of beer, wine, or spirits at the best prices and great weekly specials. Spirit Shop off 13th behind Shields Home and Hardware. Helping us bring you Easton Stick each and every week. The Chargers have the Raiders in week number 1, and that is one of the games that you can hear right here on this station. You can hear it courtesy of Sports USA right around 3:25 or so. That one will be kicking off. The first game, Cincinnati against Pittsburgh. So Cincy, Pittsburgh, and then Chargers and Raiders, our first 2 games of the NFL slate right here on Bison 1660, courtesy of the fine folks there at Sports USA. Some changes are coming to Major League Baseball. There were things that were going to be voted on today, and they have been basically approved for Major League Baseball now going forward, starting in next season. One change that's already happened, they're changing up the schedule next year. Every team's going to play every team for the foreseeable future. You're going to have a few less games in division. You'll be playing every team at least in one series, whether it be American League or National League. You're going to play every team at least for one series. You won't be playing every team home and away, but you'll be playing every team in the majors, and I like that. I think that's a good thing. You don't need quite as many games in your division. I think they play 18 right now. That's too many. You don't need that many games against the Royals or the Tigers. Give me a game against the Marlins or the Mets. Give me some other ones in there. I'm totally fine with that. But big changes coming now as they have basically approved a pitch clock and the banning of the shift
at the major league level, something that's been implemented in the minor leagues, basically throughout all the minor leagues. Pitch clock has been there, which is a 15-second pitch clock with no runners on base, 20-second pitch clock where the pitcher has to deliver the ball and the batter has to be in the box within those 20 seconds if there is a runner on base, but 15 seconds if nobody is on base. If the batter doesn't get in the box, I think that's an extra strike to him. If the pitcher doesn't deliver the pitch or start the windup or whatever, then that's a ball on the count. If it's a 3-2 count, then, well, that's a walk. That's what happens. If the bases are loaded and it's a 3-2 count, get the pitch in there because that will be a walk and it'll bring a run in. Some games have been decided, not decided by that, but the last out of the last inning was batter didn't get in the box. There's a strikeout, you're done. Game's over.
And
happened.
It's a very strict rule, too. The catcher must be in position. When the timer hits 10 seconds, the hitter must have both feet in the batter's box and be alert. So, kind of take the word alert however you want. It has to be alert at the 8-second mark, and the pitcher must start his motion to pitch by the expiration of the clock. So they are very detailed, and you got to think as an umpire, you got a lot to keep up with now among everything else. Baseball is one of those sports that there is so much going on. Everybody says, man, how do you call football? How do you call baseball? Baseball is a very tough sport to call because, things happen slow, but when they happen very fast.
My question on the pitch clock, and they'll get into more of the implementation of it here in just a little bit, the next couple of months, I'd have to think. And in the minor leagues, it was really effective the first year. Second year, people kind of got out of it, and then this year it's been more strict, and I think it's gone fairly well. I'm all for that addition, personally. When does that clock start? And, obviously there's a pitch, if there's a hit, whatever, the ball gets back in. Does that 15 or 20 seconds start when the ball gets thrown back to the pitcher? When they got the ball and they're walking around the mound, or does it start when, okay, the strike call, pitch clock's on, better throw it back and get on the mound? How does it start? Who is also the one that's starting it? Because you got to figure, at home, if it's somebody upstairs in like the booth or whatever, I might wait. Ball's thrown back to the pitcher, 1,000, 2, 1,000. Okay, start the clock. Whereas the road team, the ball's getting thrown back to the pitcher, start the clock. Give them a couple less seconds. Is that little home field advantage? Or is it going to be the umpires? Is it going to be another umpire? That's one recommendation some people have thrown out there. Throw another umpire onto the field or in the press box or whatever. He is the person that's switching that over, and they're trying to keep track of it and keep it as a fair advantage to both sides, or a fair rule, at least, to both sides. I'm for it. I'm for the pitch clock. I think it speeds up the game. I don't need the batter going out of the box. Got to redo the gloves. Got to take like 5 practice swings. I spit on the ground a little bit, and put my bat across the plate, then here, and then left, and then right, and make like the cross symbol with my bat, and now I'm ready to go. Like, players early on, I can see it already. Next year, everyone's going to be, I hate this. This is so dumb, so stupid. And then in a month, they're going to be like, okay, I'm used to it. It's also these little rituals you got to do before every pitch or every swing where it's like, you don't really need to do that stuff. Let's speed it up a little bit. I don't think it makes a massive difference in time of game, but you will see a quicker pace and not as much time between pitches, not as much standing around. So I'm for the pitch clock.
The ideal time for a baseball game, whoever thinks this stuff up, is 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And so in the minors, that is kind of, with the pitch clock, that is where the games are now. 2 hours, 30 minutes is where it is. That's a good time. I've been at baseball games that, you go through 9 innings and it's drug on 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
There's some of those that happen as well. We were talking before we went on today and mentioning this. Baseball, up until this point, though, was still that one uniquely unique sport in the sense that there was absolutely no time restrictions on the game other than first pitch of when you get started. Outside of that, the only sport, if someone out there's listening and can correct me on this, but I believe it's the only sport that did not have any type of clock or time restriction on it whatsoever.
And it still technically doesn't. You can still have a 4 or 5 hour game. It's just going to be less time between pitches.
But now you do have some sort of a time with the pitch count.
Yeah,
a little
bit.
I'm kind of in the middle on that. Just maybe because the nostalgia of the game is creeping into my brain a little bit with that statement about the timing. But I do think that it does need to speed up.
Yeah, I think there's just too much time between pitches. Micah?
I agree with the pitch clock. And as a batter and a pitcher, everything should be moving fast. Like as a batter, you don't need to step out. You take maybe 1 foot out of the batter's box and you come back in, and you got to be ready for the pitch. As a pitcher, you might go through a routine, touch your hat, whatever. Get that pitch off. Speed up the game. But for the shifts, I don't like the shifts.
I'm with you.
Banning shifts is taking away the skill of the game.
I'm with you on that one. I think the rule is you have to have 2 fielders on both sides of second base with like feet firmly planted in the infield.
Yeah, it can't be in the outfield grass.
There's already rumors the teams are going to be like, okay, we're going to start there. When the pitcher starts to throw, then we're going to quickly switch around. Like, no, people aren't doing that.
There's a good joke on social media.
Yeah, good try. But I'm not for it either, because if you're a major league hitter and you can't hit the ball the other way, that's not my problem. That's not my fault. Learn to hit the ball the other way. I think that's basically giving an easy out to hitters, and it's encouraging more home runs. Now you can take those big, hard swings, because if you ground it into the ground, you might get a hit. You might still get one, whereas with the shift, you're probably not going to. But if you can't get one, then learn to hit the ball the other way. If you can't do that, that's not my fault.
And maybe it's a thing that the MLB kind of wants to do, take away the shift, because maybe there's more runs then. More hits, more runs are happening, better offense.
I've also
maybe
heard
that's what they want.
Bases are going to be 1.5 inches bigger on each side, basically. So 3 inches each left and right. Encourages more stolen bases, which I'm all for. I like stolen bases. I think the Twins need to do a lot more of that. They're like last in the majors in stolen bases. But I'm fine with less of those super close plays. I think it won't have as many collisions on the bases as well. And encouraging stolen bases, I'm all for it.
I think part of it, too, just looking through the rules and seeing how it works, there's some chatter about that when you open the field up, going to start to put a premium on athleticism and then incentives for hitters to put the ball in play, as you were talking about earlier. So that change, I'm not big on. The pitch, I'm kind of siding with you guys. The timer on the pitch, that's cool. Whatever. Take away a little nostalgia, but it's okay. Things have to change once in a while, right, Micah?
Baseball, I think, has gotten too big into the nostalgia a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's turned some of the younger generation away, where they're like, I don't want to spend 4 hours at a baseball stadium.
They are starting to bring back the organist now at some of the
Yeah.
games. You saw that? I saw a feature on that. Really cool stuff. So that is the nostalgia that I want to come back.
There you go.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Charge.
Yeah.
We all know that one. Darn right. And the wave. I love the wave. I'm a wave guy, personally. I know some people don't like it. I like the wave. Our show today brought to you in part by something else that I really like, which is Red River Commodities and Sun Butter, the maker of delicious sunflower butters the whole family can enjoy. Sun Butter, free of the top 8 food allergens as well, and grown in the tri-state area and produced locally at Red River Commodities in Fargo. Sun Butter, simple ingredients, delicious flavor. And make sure when you're out at the tailgate lot, you're looking out for Chris Hansen. He'll be out there looking for our tailgater of the game, courtesy of Twin Peaks. He'll be giving you a very nice gift card to Twin Peaks if you're out there and he picks you as the tailgater of the game in the tailgate lot. If you're a fan of Twin Peaks, sign up for their e-club to stay up to date on all things Twin Peaks and score free stuff. Visit TwinPeaksRestaurants.com. Eats, drinks, scenic views. Chris Hansen will also be the host of the Bison Tailgate Show tomorrow, filling in for Brad Jones. Give me a crowd cheer sound effect, because Brad and Kristen welcomed in child number 2 into the world yesterday. Healthy baby boy. So congratulations to the Jones family, growing by 1, family of 4 now. Very happy for him, but he gets a much-deserved, really not for him, he didn't do anything. Kristen maybe just needs him to do more stuff, which is totally fine because she deserves the day off. But Brad will have the day off from the Bison Tailgate Show. Chris Hansen will be a fill-in host on the Tailgate Show tomorrow.
Congratulations, Brad and Bride. That is exciting. I know it's tough having 1 and 2 on. It's the greatest joy on earth. Everybody told me when you have a kid, it changes and I didn't believe it. I was like, whatever, life goes. No, it does. It changes your life. So I can only imagine with 2 how special that is for Brad. So congratulations.
Now they're playing man-to-man defense, though. 2-on-2 with 2 kiddos in the household. So congratulations again to the Jones family. We'll take our final break of the show. We'll come back, wrap things up for you with one more key to the potential Bison victory against the Aggies when we come back.
North Dakota State football plays here. Bison 1660.
Make the most out of this sugar beet season with a new bed liner from Horn Plastics. Don't let your profit get stuck in your truck. Horn Plastics has industry-leading bed liners that will guarantee you get every dime out of your load. With a Super Slide bed liner, you'll not only prolong the life of your equipment, you'll increase the amount of material in each load, increase the number of loads per day, which in return makes you more money. Call today for a free estimate or to get your install scheduled. Online at hornplastics.com.
Winter is right around the corner, whether we like it or not. And I'm talking to Justin about the perfect vehicle for the winter months. Justin, could you please tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so the new 2022 Honda Passport isn't just perfect for the winter months, it's also great for all year round. So whether you're going out ice fishing or camping across state, the new Honda Passport is going to be awesome for any adventure.
Not gonna lie, I'm a little intrigued about this. Tell me more about this Passport.
Yeah, so the Passport is a 5-passenger midsize SUV, and the Dakota package includes WeatherTech floor mats, mats, cargo tray, splash guards at no additional charge. And you can drive off our lot today in a new Honda Passport at MSRP and get the Dakota package at no additional cost.
Now that's a fantastic deal.
It is a pretty good deal. It really is. And Corwin Honda has over 30 new Passports on the ground or arriving soon, so hurry in for the best selection today.
Thanks so much, Justin. So you can drive off in a new 2022 Honda Passport today. And with the awesome selection at Corwin Honda, you're going to be able to be picky about what one you want. Corwin Honda. Shop online at corwinauto.com.
Here's your Red River Valley weather update.
Cloudy and drizzly with a 20% chance of rain for most of your Friday. A high of just 70 degrees. And tonight, partly cloudy skies and dipping down into the mid-40s. But tomorrow in the 70s and sunny for Bison tailgating. This weather update brought to you by Minn Kota Windows. Just when your kids thought it was time to head outside, a storm hits. Trust Minn Kota Windows. Minn Kota's high-quality vinyl windows will keep them and your home safe. Weather the storm with Minn Kota Windows. Midwest built, Midwest tough. Guaranteed for life.
Doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. You're always welcome where there's Jim Beam. Small-town guy in a big city? Big city guy in a small town. Wherever Jim Beam is welcome, you'll be welcome. Country guy at a rock show. Viking fan at a Packer game.
And the throw incomplete. Oh, what a pressing.
Just look for the Jim Beam, and you know you're always welcome. Your friends at Jim Beam remind you to drink responsibly.
Every fan loves an explosive play on the field when someone breaks free and takes it to the house. Take that feeling anywhere with the explosive taste of Bud Light Seltzer, the official hard seltzer of the NDSU Bison. Bud Light Seltzer is always the right call for game day. The bold flavor of the hard soda variety pack and the all-new seasonal apple slices flavors will definitely score points with your team in the tailgate zone or inside the Fargo Dome. Bud Light Seltzer, the official hard seltzer of the NDSU Bison. Please drink responsibly, never drink and drive.
Take a chance and call your shot. Every Friday, we give you a chance to win a free night stay at home with Suites in Fargo. Go to our Bison 1660 Facebook page each Friday and look for the Call Your Shot graphic. Whoever comments on that post prior to kickoff with the closest prediction of the final score wins a free night stay at home with Suites in Fargo with free Wi-Fi, an indoor pool, and connecting rooms. Homewood Suites is your hotel for Fargo family fun within walking distance of the Fargo Dome. Take a chance and call your shot.
Some things in life don't allow for a do-over. Your engagement ring is one of them. Stop in to Schmidt's Gems and find jewelry to design the perfect ring. Our team of diamond experts will give you the personalized service you deserve, hand-selecting the center diamond to crafting the ring of her dreams. Your once-in-a-lifetime engagement ring experience starts with Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry, 3241 42nd Street South, Fargo. Online at schmidtsjewelry.com.
The Bison Hotline post-game show is broadcasting live this year from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo. Come see the Bison 1660 crew live after every NDSU football game and register to win prizes including Bison 1660 t-shirts, tickets to upcoming games, and a whole lot more. Plus, take advantage of the great food and drink specials at Applebee's. Bison Hotline broadcasting live after every NDSU football game from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo, right across from the Fargo Dome. Horns up.
If you need any professional advice, they may not be your guys.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
But if you need information on NDSU, then they got you covered. It's the Insiders on Bison 1660.
Football season back in full force. Bills and Rams last night. Got the Vikes against the Packers. America's Game of the Week. Let's go. Christian Watson's playing fully. Looks like he's going to play. That's good. David Bakhtiari didn't practice today, but looks like that was more of a planned rest day. Don't know if he's going to play yet for the Packers. Big-time left tackle. Also, Alan Lazard did not practice again today for the Packers. That means could be more opportunity for Christian Watson in week number 1. He looks like he's practiced all week. He's healthy, right?
I'm ready for the heartbreak of him beating Cam Dantzler multiple times down the field. I'm ready.
I said we can score touchdowns. I'm okay with that. The Vikings got to score more. He can have personal success and Vikings team success at the same time, right? That can happen.
It can happen.
Yeah.
The odds
aren't great.
No, not in our favor.
Not great, Bob. But hopefully it does happen for Vikings fans, and hopefully Christian has a good game. We're hoping for Christian, for him personally, because we know the guy and we know the kid, and he's worked extremely hard here. I know his family's out there too watching, and they are very proud of mom, sister, all that kind of stuff. They're extremely proud of Christian, and we are too. He's done a really good job out there. Today's show brought to you in part by the Spirit Shop.
And if you need to stock up on your spirits for watching Packers, Vikings, maybe the Bison game tomorrow, whatever you need. If you need to stock up on your favorites for watching football, the Spirit Shop has you covered with a huge selection of beer, wine, or spirits at the best prices and great weekly specials. The Spirit Shop off 13th behind Shields Home and Hardware. Rob Hipp, you gave us a key already. I need one more from you. What's another key, maybe on the offensive side for the Bison here in this game against North Carolina A&T?
On the offensive side, continue the domination on the running game. Got to keep that going. That's what a staple for the Bison are. So I'd like to see Lipke get some more carries. Had that one touchdown, but let's get him more involved. Keep the running game going solid and strong.
Keys to the Game brought to you by Consolidated Communications, providing powerful, customer-focused communication solutions for businesses of all sizes. Contact Consolidated Communications for business data, cloud services, voice, network security, or a variety of digital workplace solutions for your business. About a minute or so left on the show. Appreciate everybody stopping by with us today, making us a part of your Friday. Thanks to Craig Way for coming on, voice of the Texas Longhorns. Karl Schoening as well, giving us a little bit of insight into Incarnate Word earlier in the program. If you guys missed any of our shows, any of our interviews, or any of the shows, you can podcast them. They're on our website, bison1660.com, courtesy of Spreaker. You can also listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, a whole bunch of different ways because of Spreaker. Enjoying that partnership so far. But if you guys can't find the podcasts, we've got Bison Hotline, NDSU football games and highlights. All of it is on our website, Bison1660. Just click on shows. Go there, click on shows. You'll find the podcasts of every show, all of our pregame shows, the Insiders, NDSU stuff. It's all right there. Even the coaches show is on there for you as well. It's all on our website, Bison1660.com. Time for a bold prediction, Micah. And I've got green on today. People can see it on our horse cam. Appreciate you watching on our Facebook page. I've got green on because I'm all about code green in this game. I got a shutout. It's going to happen. They're a little PO'd at themselves for the way Drake was, and a few small differences go from 14-0. You don't have the spike and the penalty on Will Mostert. Maybe that doesn't turn into a touchdown. You play better on the opening drive. That doesn't turn into a touchdown. I think they're going to be all over everything. I'm giving them the shutout. I'm going on a limb. Shutout for Code Green.
We're putting it on the board.
Put it on the board. That's my bold prediction for the week.
I give one field goal, and that's it. One field goal they're going to give up. That's it.
In which quarter?
It's coming in the third quarter.
All right.
You heard it here first.
Okay. You can hear Rob on the call tomorrow. 1:30 network pregame, 2:30 kickoff from Gate City Bank Field in the Fargo Dome. Our coverage starts at 8:30 in the morning with the Bison Report Show. I'm with James Hendricks right there at 11:30 on the program with Bison Game Day. That will do it for us today and this week. Back with you again on Monday to react to hopefully a 2-0 start for the Herd.
Homewood Suites wants you to feel at home. This upscale extended stay brand understands that being away from home can be challenging. So Homewood Suites in North Fargo has designed their amenities to make life easier for you. At Homewood, you can relax in a variety of suites with full kitchens, complimentary hot breakfast, outdoor grills, and recreational areas that make stays more familiar. When you need to be away, but you still want to feel like home, choose Homewood Suites by Hilton. Find out more and book a stay at HomewoodSuites.com.
Hi, it's Kelly, and I want to tell you about my great experience with Valley Service Mechanical. They were polite and very easy to deal with.